We be live. Hello, Drew, Shalom, Namaste, and Hola.
Hola, hola.
Hello.
Monkey's not here, so I'm taking his part today.
Well, no, I thought that's what I thought, but Sid is also Hola.
Okay.
So
Yes.
yes.
Okay, great.
I am actually Ola, hello, shalom, and namaste.
Yeah,
Yes.
you're only not Durud, basically.
That's it. Yeah.
Yes.
Durud I'm borrowing. Honorary Durud.
Yes.
Honorary Durud, yeah.
I know. And guys, we already got a super chat before we even starting the show. V for Vanquish. Thank you so much for the super chat. Saying
Thank
Javid
you,
Shah.
V, for Vanquish.
Great start. Thank you,
Javid
V, for
Shah.
Vanquish. Javid Shah. Guys, economic D-Day is coming, and apparently Secretary Scott Bessent has amazing news for us. I don't know. He was supposed to do an announcement, major announcement. I don't know if it has happened already or not, because I was doing the Persian show. So I don't know in the past few hours what has happened. So should we just get an update and see where we're at?
Yeah.
And then we
Yes.
could. Okay, let's get an update and see where we're at.
The United States is set to unleash new economic sanctions against Iran to pressure the regime in Tehran. U.S. Treasury Secretary Scott Bessent wrote on Sunday, President Donald Trump and the overwhelming might of our military have significantly dismantled Iran's military capabilities and weakened its nuclear program. Now we are entering the end game. At dawn begins an economic D-Day, the single greatest financial offensive ever marshaled against an adversary. The economic pressure comes as the Iranian rial crossed 2 million to $1, a historic low for the country's currency. The head of Iran's Supreme National Security Council responded on X, saying if the economic war continues, not a single drop of oil will be exported, neither through the Strait of Hormuz nor anywhere in the Persian Gulf. Iran will regard any country's participation in or support for America's economic war against the Iranian people as an act of war. Despite this statement, reports do indicate that crossings through the Strait of Hormuz are up 400% over the last 2 weeks. The United States is overseeing vessels out of the Persian Gulf through a safer southern passage. The passage does allow for millions of barrels of crude oil to be exported each day. Still, the Iranians remain defiant.
So just to be clear, this whole the idea that the Islamic Republic has lost control over the Strait of Hormuz and the Americans have more control than ever before has been even confirmed by CNN. So this is not a Fox News spin of what's happening. CNN is also confirming that. Mohsen Rezai in the discussion on state TV, he was talking about we're still selling oil, and he's right, and it's not a contradiction. But even though oil is not going through the Strait of the Islamic Republic, I mean, oil is going through the Strait of Hormuz, but not Iranian oil. Everyone else's oil is going through. But the reason why that's not a contradiction is because a lot of oil did go through when the blockade was removed after the signing of the MOU, right? And a lot of that oil is sitting on the sea in close to Malaysia and China and just sitting there, and the Islamic Republic is still selling that. All of the oil tankers filled with millions of barrels of oil that were sitting there, that is being still sold on a daily basis, but it's at a very low number, right? I think the Islamic Republic used to sell like 2 million barrels a day. Right now it's like at 200,000 or something of all of the oil that is sitting there, and they're still selling it to China, mostly to China. And that's going to last them another 3 or 4 months. That's going to last them another 3 or 4 months unless Scott Bessent finds a way for the Islamic Republic not to be able to sell that oil either. Then it's going to be shorter than 3 or 4 months. It's going to be really difficult to completely push China into not buying that oil, especially because they need it, and China doesn't have as much of an oil reserve as they used to have. Before the oil that made it through this, when the blockade was removed, the oil that went through, when they were selling it before, they were selling it to China, and the money was going through an escrow account for the Islamic Republic to be able to buy corn, soybeans, and hay from the United States. And my understanding is that that money is still sitting in an escrow account under the control of the United States, and the Islamic Republic never got its corn or American food. So that's I don't know if they don't. I don't think they have access to that. But right now, the remaining millions of barrels of oil that they have that are selling to China, they're trying to find different ways to get that money to the Islamic Republic, and that's what Scotty B is trying to stop.
So they never took advantage of the offer to exchange oil for food. That's what you're saying, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
They didn't get the food.
So that never happened.
Right.
Okay. And then the other thing is that what you're saying is that they have essentially a floating warehouse of oil that left the Gulf, the Persian Gulf, before the blockade was reinstated, right? And that floating warehouse would typically last 3 to 4 months, meaning that they could continue to sell. This we'll find out today. We'll find out in the next few weeks. But what I think you're speculating is, and makes sense to me, is that this economic D-Day move is at least in part aimed at targeting the potential buyers of the oil in the floating warehouse, right? Saying like, okay, and many of them are independent. I think you mentioned teacup refineries, right? So it's not exactly state policy here. There's some independence level, but maybe, and there's banks as well. So a lot of different players, but maybe Bessent can target the people who are benefiting from this already like outside of the Gulf trade, and shorten their timeline even further.
Yes. So there's two types of trade that we have to focus on and separate them from each other, or energy trade, non-energy trade, right? So non-energy trade, the main countries to focus on to suffocate the Islamic Republic was UAE, Turkey, Pakistan, Iraq, and to a lesser extent maybe Afghanistan, right? And the fact that UAE was already stopped doing trade, and China, obviously, and China, even non-oilless China, right? And the fact that UAE was removed from doing any trade was a significant blow to the Islamic Republic. This is the most important for UAE, was the most important for non-energy trade, right? Goods and services. For energy trade, number one is China, right? So if the combination of removing UAE, if you could, so removing UAE, that means that the Islamic Republic has lost access to imports of a lot of goods and services, but it still has access to foreign currency, especially US dollars, because it sells oil to China. If you could find a way for them not to be able to sell that to China, which means going after the refineries, both the teacup one and the Hangli one, which is the main big one, and the banks and the financial institutions that are making this possible for the Islamic Republic, it would be unprecedented. Like I saw so many economists were analyzing the situation that we're in, and they were saying that it's hard to analyze how this is going to affect the Islamic Republic because we're in uncharted territories. That's how they describe it, which is extreme.
That's exciting.
Yeah. Yeah. And it's also difficult. Yeah. Go on.
My pattern recognition is making me a bit anxious because Munir is in Iran right now. And we've already been in a situation where it's like, oh, we're this close, we're this close, we're this close. Okay, I decided to pause economic D-Day because the Iranians have agreed to an agreement.
Yes.
I'm really worried, like, we're in the end game. So Trey Yingst also said that this is to apply pressure to them. Well, are you applying pressure to them to get them to take a deal, or applying pressure to them to take out the regime? Those are different things. And would they be affected, for example, by the regime threatening to hit desalination plants and so on in the Arab Persian Gulf countries?
Right. So right now there's two philosophies within the Islamic Republic, right? One philosophy says that the Americans are not interested in a deal. That they only do this to keep every time we're getting close to a deal. When we accept a deal, the United States, look, they must be desperate that they're accepting a deal. They must be very weak that they're accepting a deal. So we get them so close to the edge of accepting a deal. And as soon as we're getting close to it, we're going to increase the demands. Because if they're this desperate to accept our deal, that means they're desperate enough for us to ask for more. So it's for the people within the Islamic Republic that want to escalate and go to war, they're saying the deal is a trap. The United States says we want these things, and we get close to getting them, and then all of a sudden the demand gets higher. And we will never, and because we got close to it, they're like, okay, so if we got you this far, you must need us, so you must not be able to fight that you got this, that you accepted everything. So let's ask for more. And we will never reach their demands because they will never be satisfied, and they will always ask for more.
Wait,
And
this is what they're saying about us.
That's what they're saying about the U.S. And they're saying that the people who want to negotiate with the Americans are idiots. And they don't understand that you can't trust the Americans. And every time they attack us, it's exactly when we're negotiating with them. So the only solution is for us to go to war. That's what the anti-negotiation, pro-escalation people are saying. The anti-escalation, pro-negotiation people within the Islamic Republic think that we can't defeat them. Like, you can't beat the Americans at war. Like, we're not going to win this. We're not, like, you're delusional. What are you going to do? Like, how are we going to beat the Americans at war? So we have to, like, we're gonna die. Like, under this economic pressure, we're all gonna die. We have to go negotiate, right? And they, like, I showed yesterday, Hassan Khomeini, who said, like, guys, peace doesn't mean that we're not going to conquer them later. He gave the example of Muhammad doing the peace deal with Qurayshis, and then in 2 years coming out and conquering the Mecca anyways. They're like, sometimes peace is a way for us to survive so that we could then conquer them later. So let's just do a peace deal. That was Hassan Khomeini, the grandson of Ruhollah Khomeini, the founder of the Islamic Republic, was saying, right? But here's the thing: the people who are pro-escalation, what can they do? Like, when it comes to escalate, how, right? Because they have 4 leverage points, and most of them are not useful, right? One is the proxies, then it's the enriched uranium, then it's the Strait of Hormuz, and then it's their own drones and missiles at the Arab countries around the Persian Gulf, right? These are the 4 points of 4 ways that they could cause tension. The proxies are busy surviving themselves. Hezbollah is right now busy surviving. Hashd-e-Shaabi in Iraq is busy trying not to get disarmed, and the Houthis are dealing with a civil war. So none of them are as effective as they used to be. The Strait of Hormuz is not as effective as they used to be because of all the bombardments in southern Iran has blinded the Islamic Republic, so they can't even see the commercial ships, and it's hard to stop them if you can't see them, right? So the Strait of Hormuz, the enriched uranium, most of it, they don't have access to it because it's deep underground and it's buried under tons of rubble, so they don't have access to it. So that leaves the only leverage, that seems to me that the only leverage they have is to throw missiles and drones at the civilian infrastructure of the Arab countries in the region, which is energy infrastructure, water desalination, and data centers of American companies in the Arab countries. The problem with that is that if you play that card, then you have no more cards to play. Because the only reason why the main reason why the Americans haven't yet hit your power plants is because if you do this, then you would do that as well. So if you play that card, then there's nothing that stops the Americans to come and hit your power plants. And that's why that's a dangerous card to play.
Well, I'm really struck by when you were describing how the escalation camp describes us. I was really struck by how similar that sounds to how I would describe them.
Right.
Yeah, I mean, it does feel like, you know, like we will never come to any agreement with them. You know, that's, I guess, why I'm like, I mean, I'm not necessarily in the escalation camp. I guess I've always been in the blockade camp, right? I always been in the blockade camp. I like the blockade. But I never thought there was a deal possible.
Mm.
So I always thought, like, any talk of deal is just wasting time. And it sounds like that's how they feel about us.
Yes, and I hope they're right. You know,
Yeah.
every time I heard these jihadis describe why you can't trust the Americans, I'm like, I hope you're right. I hope, like they say, a deal was never an option. The American, the pro-escalation after negotiations jihadis in the Islamic Republic, they say this whole talk of a deal was always a trap. And when I listen to it, I'm like, oh my God, I hope this is this is a real. I hope you're right. I hope this is an accurate description of the Americans.
Well, that's what I think about them. I think any talk of deal is only a trap. That's why. So I guess we're aligned on this, oddly enough. And
So
that's
let's
why
not have a deal then.
That's what I was saying yesterday about Hassan Khomeini. It's like I think that he has a point. Like that's actually a sound long-term strategy. It's just like, okay, and it worked for Muhammad. It worked for Muhammad, and I think I think it could even work in this case. But I don't think they're capable of it because they cannot get the buy-in, from the jihadi faithful.
Yeah. Guy, what do you think about all this?
I hope. Look, so if you ask Tusi, Trump has decided to eliminate the regime. I haven't watched Goldie consistently in a while, but last I watched her, that was also her take. I'm more skeptical. I hope they're right. And the MOU, like the main point of skepticism, that being the MOU, did end up working in our favor, but it also easily could have not. Allegedly, like maybe it was all again 5D chess, 10D backgammon, like could be many dimensions of many games, of many board games. It's nerve-wracking because like this, not knowing what the Americans want. I've heard conflicting reports. I've heard people like what's his name, Mike Duran, saying that he asked everyone in the administration and they all said no, regime change is not on the table. So like even unconditional surrender here, what does that mean? So do troops go into Iran? They could claim to make unconditional surrender, but like, yes, but please give us food because or give us money because we're choked out here, and then eventually like start delaying it. Like I know these tactics, 6D monopoly, yeah. I know these tactics from dealing with Hamas and all these other Durkas that need like that. A lot of them learned from the IRGC on how to do these things. So if you get to the point of talking about a deal, I'm nervous, even if it's allegedly a total surrender, because if they can just stretch it out for 2 years, then that's a problem. So I just hope you just keep economic D-Day and economic fury, and then maybe do like a coup de grace of a decapitation strike, and I like where we are now. I don't want this to change.
Part of me thinks that even if this is not a 5D chess, it's possible that it's going to look like one, right? Because we might never know, right? Because it's possible that the Americans are still interested in the deal, but because again, I'm not saying this is what it is. I'm just saying it's possible. But because the deal is not possible, and we're not going to get a deal, it's good. Imagine if we just in an attempt to get a deal, the Islamic Republic keeps getting weaker and weaker and weaker to the point that they collapse. So even if they were interested in a deal, it's going to look like they were never interested in a deal, right?
Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah. I'm thinking of one very very prominent Trump critic on the right described Trump as somebody who doesn't think strategically, thinks impulsively, and as a result, things often go wrong. And when they go wrong, he's brilliant at pointing the blame at somebody else. And so I think the end result is that a lot of things end up looking like 5D chess. because there's so much chaos, right? And then some things work out, and many things don't work out. But the things that work out are assigned to Trump's genius. So yeah, I mean, I guess I would say like I'm not as negative on Trump as this particular person who is David Frum, by the way. So I'm not as negative on Trump as David Frum, but I do think that there is I think sort of impulse and provocation are more Trump's signature moves, I think, than sort of deep strategic thinking.
We should respond to some of the comments people have
there's
in
a
the
lot of
chat. Okay, so first one is for a super chat from Justin. Thank you so much, Justin. Saying, has anyone from the Mecca Pack come out and say that Ghalibaf is full of it about them asking the Islamic Republic to join it? If not, then we have a big problem. So based on what I've seen so far, it seems like they've just been silent about it. They haven't confirmed it or denied it. But I do think they should come out and deny it. If it's not, it doesn't seem like it's true. Yeah.
Okay, so
I've seen someone from the Islamic Republic already deny it, like saying like no, they didn't actually offer to do it. I'll try to look it up quickly. But it got pre-bunked before like it ever had a chance. So I'm gonna look it up. Let's see if I can find it.
Okay, thank you.
But keep going.
Yeah. So I when I looked at this, I had a different interpretation of what Justin was saying. So maybe you can clarify. But it just initially looking at it, I agreed. So what I understood this to mean is that if nobody from the Mecca Pact has come out and said that Ghalibaf is full of it, then the Mecca Pact has a big problem. And I think he's right in that regard.
Oh,
I think he's right because it really doesn't look credible. It doesn't look credible.
Yeah.
If right away Iran, if you look at it, this Mecca Pact, I mean, it's a kind of it's a Sunni oriented pact, and it's surrounding Iran.
Yeah,
okay. That's not to say that it's sort of designed particularly to offset Iran. And I think that I've seen some analysis that suggests it's really more aimed at a post-IR Islamic regime security order. So, but I still think that if that's the case, that they are ambiguous about it, it doesn't speak well of the pact itself. That's the point that I thought Justin was making, and I would strongly agree with that.
Yeah.
No, I think he said we have a big problem, as in it's a big problem if Iran suddenly joins the pact, but I just don't see that ever happening.
Yeah.
The US would never allow that to happen.
Well, I don't even. I mean, I just think like, imagine if Saudi Arabia, Pakistan, and Turkey were to announce, "Hey, we have a new member, the Islamic Republic." I mean, that would just look clownish. That would look absolutely clownish. Okay, so I think, I honestly think it would look bad for them. I mean, we are really just weeks away from the IR hitting. Did they hit Saudi Arabia? Yeah, they did.
Oh, like weeks away from the last time they hit him.
Yeah. Yeah. So I mean, I think it just looks like a clown show.
Yeah. Yeah, so I think we answered this one. Shana is saying that everyone should like Guy's stream. Guys, make sure you subscribe to Guy's stream, to Guy's channel. And also, please check for me if the links are working. The links to our discussion group, which is in the description, and also the QR code in the top left, and also the link to everyone's YouTube channel. And guys, also Sid's YouTube channel is coming up next week, so look out for that. So, and also check out Guy's channel and make sure you subscribe and let me know every time if any of the links are not working, please report to us. Thank you. Yeah, Mikey is coming back. He's just busy with other stuff. Okay, and he will be back. Okay, and Boboism, thank you so much for the super chat. Saying Barak's statements about the Golan, we will get to that. because I want to hear, because we talked about it, but I think it's very valuable to get guys input on those as well. So because you reminded me, I lined it up, so we will get to that at some point. All right. And then thank you for the reminder. Kevin, thank you so much for the membership gift. And again, thank you so much for your service. Koala Katie is saying, Durud guys chat, trying to double dip to help Guy get his necessary watch hours. Thank you so much, Koala Katie.
Yes, this is really important. Like I'm on track for the subscriber count. I'm already past 800. So I need to get to 1,000, but I have like half the watch hours that I need. So like if anyone can double dip and or whatever, like get my watch hours up, watch old stuff as well. There's a lot of interesting stuff on my channel. Like I need my watch hours to be higher. Yes, do like Sid.
Thank you.
I need my watch hours to be higher to be able to get monetized. So
awesome. Yes, get his watch hours up. V for Vanquish, thank you so much for the super chat, saying, could Iranian oil tankers outside the blockade be seized by Americans and forced to return to the Persian Gulf? Yes, and I wonder why they don't do that. Like, why not just do that? That's a good question.
That was my thinking as well. And Amu Jeff, I think, has hinted at this being a possibility several times in the past. So
yeah, but that's an easy thing to do. Why are they not doing just that? That's a very good question. Is it because of international law or something? Is it abiding by international law?
By the way, I found the statement that I saw about the Mecca Pact in Iran.
Okay, but before you do that, let me read this quickly. Okay, so this is what AI is saying. Blanket seizures of Iranian regime tankers violate international freedom of navigation laws without a declared blockade. Shadow fleets use deceptive yeah. So if you announce a blockade, because the United States said those ships could move past the blockade, like the blockade was removed, so they passed. So now if they go seize them, it would be against their own, the very thing that the United States told them that they could do, right? So it would be a violation of, because they didn't violate the blockade was removed, right? Shadow fleets use deceptive flags and ship-to-ship transfers to hide the regime's involvement. Retaliation by the Iranian regime in the Persian Gulf threatens critical global shipping corridors. Direct interdiction or risk sever diplomatic and trade conflict with Chinese purchasers. Oh, okay. The U.S. prioritizes targeted judicial asset forfeiture and financial sanctions over physical naval pushbacks. So these are the reasons AI gave, but I'm not saying it's correct, but I just double checked it. But one thing was correct that I mentioned is probably because of international norms. The U.S. said that they could pass, and now that they pass, and they're now part of the going and seizing them would be violating what the United States said they could do themselves. So yeah. And Bob is in with the super chat saying Barack's great panel today, guys. Fuck Tom Barack. Wait, Barack's great panel today, guys. I don't understand this.
I think he just meant great panel today, guys. Fuck Tom Barack, and somehow Barack got in the beginning and the end too. But thanks.
Yes. Okay. Thank you. I think he's saying it would be good for this panel for us to review that, which is correct. And then another super chat by Bobo saying three smart guys love it. Fuck Barack. Yes. We will get Boboism is like really angry with Tom Barack, which we will get to. Yeah. And then there was a whole bunch of comments that you guys start. Mike is saying there is no deal. It's only surrender.
So okay, so I wanted to respond to that specifically.
Okay.
Okay. I mean, actually, I think at this point I already said it. Like, it's only surrender, but what does surrender look like, and how capable are they of like dragging it out in such a way that they surrender all the way until Trump is out of office and then recuperate? Like, the details really matter to what surrender looks like, basically.
Yes. And Marigold is saying Hamas is sending kites to Israel.
Yes. So I don't know if it's on your topics for today, but if not, I'm definitely going to talk about it tomorrow in my Q&A session. So tomorrow, 2 hours before this stream, I have my own Q&A section in my like the discussion group. So use the link. You can come ask me questions, and also I'll definitely talk about this. This is a problematic pattern. So real quickly, I'll just describe what it is. Hamas is using children to send kites into Israel, and they're just regular kites. But this is part of their strategy to slowly skirt the line. So they send a little girl with a backpack across the yellow border. Well, are you going to shoot a little girl with a backpack? And then they send like a girl and a boy. And then like over time, they slowly skirt the line in such a way that eventually they just break off your defenses and do something dangerous. And so these are just regular kites so far, I think. But it's in preparation to send like kites with Molotov cocktails and stuff like that. And this is returning to a problematic pattern that we've had over the last 20 years. And now the government is trying to bite it off, like to hit it off at the knees, like immediately, not giving it a chance to. You send a kite, we're going to evacuate a neighborhood, and we're going to do a strike there for the people who arranged the kite sending.
All right. Because we're in the middle of the Iran segment, can you like send me the stuff that is like outside of the Iran segment, and I'll add it to the list of the things that we could cover, right? And you could also maybe like send it to me in the private chat, and I will basically prepare them, right? And then Qualicate is saying, I saw that. What is that kite intended to do? Kill people.
Yeah, so I just explained that.
Right? Yeah. Sean is saying the only deal is for the IRGC to unconditionally surrender to the USA. Will is saying, you people, meaning us three, still don't understand Trump's not going to say what he's really going to do to anyone. I mean, we do understand that. I don't know.
I think it's a response to
the
me,
media.
so I'm gonna respond to that back.
Okay. The media is all to confuse people so they don't know what we're going to do. Trust Trump people. Before you respond, Guy, I don't understand this demand to trust. What does that mean? Like, we shouldn't be trusting anybody, right? Like, I don't know, maybe I'm exaggerating. It's always about understanding people's interests and their abilities and their limitations. We can't, like in politics, we can't rely on trust, right? I don't know, maybe what do you think?
So I thought at least this was someone in the chat is saying that he's responding to other chatters. So that's possible. But I thought it was a response to me saying that Mike Duran said that everyone in the administration told him that the goal is not regime change. Mike Duran is not just a reporter. He is very well connected within Washington, especially to the Republican apparatus. And so his word is worth more than most. Now, is it possible that Trump secretly does want regime change and is hiding it from almost anyone? Yes. But Mike Duran saying this has more weight than just it being reported that America is not interested in regime change.
Yes, but what do you think about people who say like trust this person or that person? Like,
yeah,
I think that in geopolitics you don't work based on trust.
And also, we've seen Trump throw people under the bus for narrow interests. Like, for example, Ukraine. He has at least tried. Now, Ukraine has managed to overcome it, but he has tried reducing the amount of aid to Ukraine in ways that are not conducive to other countries trusting him. I think Trump is doing a disservice to American foreign policy because he goes beyond just beyond getting people to pull their own weight into territory of these aren't covenants, they're contracts, or they're like useful partnerships. And as soon as I see something that's more useful, like it's a narrow utilitarian view as opposed to a broad utilitarian view, which takes into account what happens if you use a narrow utilitarian view to make decisions.
I think Trump is I personally think Trump is a net positive by a huge margin.
I agree. I agree.
Okay, like his positive is way more than his negative, but
I completely
there
agree
are
with that.
negatives. Yes, there
Yes.
are negatives, but the net is positive, hugely on the positive side. That's the way I think. Right.
Yeah, no, I agree with that.
What
I
about-
think
what
I
about-
was just highlighting one of the TDS much guy. Yeah, I was just highlighting one of the problems with Trump and one of the negative externalities of his approach. His approach, it would be very hard to say that this approach doesn't have any negativity involved with it. He's a bull in a china shop, full of things that need breaking. But surely we all have to agree that there are going to be negative results out of this breaking. So one of those things is that we can't blindly trust Trump because he works on interests that are not identical to those of the Iranian people. And I don't think he's above taking the war or whatever in a direction. Like, he's not going to put Iran first. He's not Iran first. He's America first. And he has a lot
As
of
he
benefit
shouldn't.
from rescuing Iranians. But we can't just blindly trust that what he sees as America's interest is going to align one-to-one with the Iranian people.
And it shouldn't be. So his interests are not identical to our interests, but they are very aligned. And very aligned and identical are two different things, right? Are not the same thing. We should appreciate having very, very aligned interests with somebody without expecting that they should be identical, because they can never be identical, because he should be America first. Okay, and the good thing about being America first is that being America first is there has a lot of alignment with being Iran first, but that alignment is not 100%, and it should never be 100%.
Exactly.
Right.
It would be weird if it was 100%, because then Iran is just the Iranians are just a proxy of the US.
Yeah, it would be the same country. Not even then it would be 100% aligned. Sherry with a super chat saying these animals are fucking sick, effing sick. Sorry. And yes, I think Sherry was saying that when I had Mohsen Rezai on the page. Yes.
No, I think it was
No,
I think it was it was when I was talking about Hamas using the children to fly the kites.
Oh, okay, yes. Good observation. Thank you, Sherry. Thank you for the super chat. Thank you for paying attention, guy. And there was a whole bunch of other comments that you start. Do you want to quickly respond to each one of them so we could go back?
So my gripe is Israel is not allowed to finish Hamas, Hezbollah, and the long wait with Iranians dying every day. Israel is not allowed to finish Hamas off right now because they're trying to go the deal route. It's not going to work. But then again, we said it about the hostages as well. There is a concerning trend that is happening that looks like Hamas is trying to rearm. So we are being held back there. In Hezbollah, that's not the case. We're basically we have almost complete freedom within the framework of the agreement that we signed with the Lebanese government. So that's something we have to take into account. We're under an agreement with the Lebanese government that hopefully eventually will lead to peace. And so that's our constraint there. It's less the Americans. When we hope that Iran will be free soon.
So you want to just go down through the comments that you saw, but quickly on each, so that we could go back to.
So did anyone see Patipto's latest X post 49 minutes ago? Widespread GPS disruptions in Tehran. Just I saw it in the chat. I felt it was interesting and worth noting. I didn't do the other ones. Oh, okay. So Qualicati did the same comment twice on both chats, and I didn't do the Kevin one.
I think Sid, you did that.
Maybe it was a mistake.
You're muted. You're muted, Sid.
Sorry. So Dominic Spencer is asking Kevin, brother, I had to go back in the chat to read. I am so sorry for your loss. Pets are companions for life. So I didn't see exactly what happened, but it sounds like Kevin lost a pet. Just really sorry to hear that.
Did you start this comment?
I did start it.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So I just saw that it looks like maybe Kevin lost a pet.
I'm sorry.
Him, and I just wanted to give our condolences, Kevin. Sorry to hear that.
God. Can't even imagine how that feels. God damn it. All right. Sorry, man. Okay. So I do. Let me finish this video, and then I have a video from inside Iran for you guys to see what the Iranian people are going through.
And reports do indicate that crossings through the Strait of Hormuz are up 400% over the last 2 weeks. The United States is overseeing vessels out of the Persian Gulf through a safer southern passage. The passage does allow for millions of barrels of crude oil to be exported each day. Still, the Iranians remain defiant.
The fact that the United States has once again moved from military threats, saying that it will strike and so on, to reviving its old plans shows that they are truly desperate and have no solution when it comes to the great Iranian nation. Therefore, they keep bringing their old plans back onto the scene.
The U.S. naval blockade also remains in place as CENTCOM says 70 commercial vessels have been redirected since the blockade was reimposed. In terms of U.S. military movement, the USS Abraham Lincoln is headed home after being deployed for 274 days. This aircraft carrier made its last port call in December, breaking a Navy record. The vessel is being replaced by the Japan-based USS George Washington. On Friday, President Trump doubled down on his position that the Strait of Hormuz is now U.S. territory.
They'll never have it. Yeah, by the way, that's not helpful language at all. Calling the Strait of Hormuz U.S. territory, it could be, works very well for Islamic Republic propaganda to sell this internally as Trump being anti. I know he doesn't. I know he's not going to do that, and I know this is like people are like, oh, it's a joke, it's a joke. He's not going to do that. I know that. I'm just saying this plays very well for the Islamic Republic propaganda, and it's just the Islamic Republic was happy that President Trump said this.
Yeah.
So
No. So is this a new clip, or is him saying it again?
Again, him saying it again.
Okay, yeah.
Multiple times.
Right, yeah. So we talked about this. I mean, I agree with you. I mean, this is I guess one of my frustrations with Trump. I mean, let's just go back quickly and say, Armin said that Trump is a net positive by far. I would agree with that. Also, Guy said that he's a bull in a china shop, and I would agree with that. Okay, and so what happens now is this is an example of this. All right, to me this is very undiplomatic, impolitic language. Maybe he's joking, it's off the cuff, but this is the thing: is that there are certain times where we want him not to be off the cuff, where we want him to be disciplined in his message. And unfortunately, we have to take the bad with the good. So this is something that he does that I think is frustrating for me and for Armin and for a lot of people. But I guess the alternative is somebody who's always diplomatic and doesn't do anything. So that's why we look at it. We say, all right, you know what? That China shop needed to be wrecked. That China shop was not working in our favor, and it really needed to be wrecked. And nobody else had the guts to do anything about it. Yes. So I give him credit for that, but I still think, I can at least assemble in my mind somebody who can do the wrecking, and it can also be on message and be disciplined on message, and still make jokes at the Islamic Republic's expense. So this was a joke that I think probably he intended to do at the Islamic Republic's expense, but it actually ended up being to their benefit.
Yes, and to be fair, maybe that, I mean, we are always going to say that this is not the right thing to say, but also to be fair, maybe the person that will do things the way that needs to be done will always be the type of person that speaks like this.
Well, that's been my sort of theory of the case, right? Is that I don't think, in the end, I think that we needed somebody reckless and impulsive, and provocative to break the sort of constraining system of norms that got us in this position in the first place, right? Where we're just like nobody would do anything, Nobody would make any move because they had to deal with all the opprobrium and all the questioning and so on, and because Trump is so shameless, and because he doesn't mind being the antagonist and the villain, he's able to do things that I think a lot of other politicians wouldn't be able to do, and some of those things are for the better, and some of them are not. You know, that this is the challenge. I mean, people are talking about TDS. And I think that there's like TDS is a kind of there's a TDS horseshoe theory as well, right? Whereas like there's on the left there's a TDS which is like everything Trump does is wrong no matter what, right? He's just and there's a small segment, I think it's a rather small segment on the right for whom Trump can do no wrong. And I think, and so what I would say is that I'm in Armin's camp here. I think that Trump is a net positive, but it's not that he can do no wrong. There's things that he could do better. I wish he would do better, but unfortunately, I think that kind of comes with the package.
Yes, 100% agree. And Shauna with a super chat saying Trump has a hard time consistently separating the IRGC from the Iranians. Also, to Sid's point, Rubio 2028. That I do appreciate that he has made an effort. Trump has been saying the Islamic Republic of Iran way more than he used to. By the way, I agree with Shauna, but I really do appreciate that he has made an effort. And he didn't have. So, guys, let me, like, a lot of people think, like, given how much we're criticizing President Trump, let me actually say this thing, okay? Two things that I will always be grateful for President Trump, and they are such a big deal to me that every single other criticism that we have for him is so minor compared to how grateful I am for these two things, right? One is that Khamenei is dead, and the Islamic Republic has never been as weak as it is right now. And I understand that there are many things that made that possible, including the Iranian people, Princes of Pahlavi, Israel, but it also would not have happened without the United States and without President Trump. If President Trump was not the president of the United States, that would have not happened. And I will forever, as an Iranian, be grateful to President Trump that made this possible. And I also understand that no other president in the White House would have made this possible. Like, no Democrat, maybe Rubio, but no other president at that time would have been able to make this possible. Maybe not even Rubio, I don't know. So that's one. Two, no matter how, guys, no matter how many times we criticize President Trump and say, like, he could have said this better, this was not the best way to do this was not the right strategy. Also, the second thing is that President Trump, more than anybody, keeps reminding the world regarding the state of the Iranian people and the conditions that they're dealing with. Right? He always, the most powerful man in the universe, constantly, when the media always forgets about this and they move on to other topics, he always brings attention back to how the Iranian people are being treated by the Islamic Republic, and he always brings attention back not just to the massacre in early January, but also to all the other things that the Islamic Republic have been doing to the Iranian people in the past 48 years. And he keeps insisting on reminding everybody about that, and everybody, non-Iranian media, is always forgetting that, and he brings it back all the time, right? So I always appreciate that. And people think that when we criticize President Trump, we're forgetting that, and we're not forgetting that. But that doesn't mean that we're going to agree with everything he does, just because we appreciate that and we're grateful for that, right?
Yeah. So, by the way, real quickly, because I owe you guys this. Ismail Bakai has said that Iran has not received a formal invitation to join the Mecca Pact, but offers on the matter have been sent to it, whatever that means. So that was that. With regards to what we're talking about now,
yeah.
Do you want to respond to that real quick?
So wait, he's saying who sent the offer, them or the Islamic Republic or the other countries?
No, so the Islamic Republic received offers on the matter.
So wait, who's saying that?
Bakai,
Baghai is the spokesperson of the foreign minister of the Islamic Republic.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
All right. So his claim is that they were offered.
They were offered something. It's not clear.
Okay. Yeah.
How about maybe the offer was like, how about you don't attack us or we will respond now that we have now that we have a defense pact. Here's an offer. Stop attacking us.
Yeah, that can be a lot of things. So
yeah.
On the face of it, I find it really hard to believe that this pact will make an active enemy of America immediately after it's signed, where largely the reason it has any chance of being successful is because of American backing to each of the three countries involved.
Yeah.
So that would be weird. As for what we're talking about, yeah, I mean, I mostly agree with you. I would like to point out regarding Rubio 2028, we now have, I think Vance is 0 for 3 in making claims about geopolitics. He said that Ukraine will never be able to win the war, and that's why they supported Israel but not Ukraine. And that's wrong. Ukraine is winning the war. He said about the regime that there are reasonable people there, and now he's forced to admit that, yeah, they lied to us throughout. And he said the strait can never be open because they can always just send drones, and it's very easy to do. But look at that. The strait is more or less completely open now. He said that on Rogan. So I agree with Rubio 2028 because Vance seems incompetent in geopolitics. And third, I think this is what you guys said is true about TDS. Also BDS. So in like BB derangement syndrome. And I think one of the problems that Israel has with regards to the people talking about Israel online is that it's also true about IDF, Israel derangement fever. I coined that myself. In that, like, you have to talk about bad things that happen either in Israel or by Israelis, but also contextualize it effectively. It's impossible for a country of almost 10 million people to not have bad apples. That doesn't mean that everyone is those bad apples. So you have to both acknowledge when bad things happen, but also contextualize it effectively if you want anyone to believe what you're saying. And yeah, what do you guys think of IDF as the way to coin Israel derangement syndrome, like instead of IDS, IDF?
It would confuse people.
Yeah. So I have been using Israel derangement syndrome, and I do think it works. Yeah, my gut is that it works better than IDF because IDS is sort of like people understand TDS, right? And I think that the TDS and the Israel derangement syndrome are very similar. You know, it's sort of like a knee-jerk negative response to everything without any sort of processing, any analysis. So I do think that that works, but you know, I'm okay with it. It's just that I love the IDF. So I don't want it to turn into a negative turn.
Yeah. All right. Well, let's do the super chats. I do have some other videos from inside Iran that I want to share with you guys, and then go to the kite situation that guy was talking about, right? So effectual insurrection 3109. Thank you so much for the jewels.
Hey, wait. Effectual insurrection. Please come join our group. I'm really looking forward to hearing from you. You had a very interesting backstory, and you said that you wanted to tell us some stuff, and I'm really looking forward to it. So please join the school group and tell us your story. I can't wait to hear from you.
Yes, guys, the link is in the description. It's also in the QR code at the top left. Come, and we have calls every single day, so come join us. And thank you. All right, and then we have Justin with a super chat saying Rubio Bessent 2028. Oh my god, that would be
looks like a strong ticket. Yeah,
I would love
I disagree. I do think you need someone who's in charge of the more skeptical part of the camp. Rubio and Bessent, I think, is A and then another A. You need an AB ticket.
Oh, interesting take. Interesting.
But on competence, it's a very strong. It's a very strong.
Yeah, obviously,
carry.
but just in terms
it's
of
like the all competence team, you know.
Yes, I just don't think you need a VP that's competent. You need a VP that's a symbol.
Interesting. Kevin with a super chat saying, "Love you guys." I think for being so kind, Cappy. Oh yes, I should have been calling Kevin Cappy. I've been. Oh my god. Yes, Cappy. I'm sorry. So Cappy is Kevin's nickname, and that's how he prefers to be referred to. And I forgot.
Right.
Sorry.
Thank you, Cappy. And again, sorry to hear about your loss.
Yeah, I'm so sorry. My God, I can't even imagine that. Like every time somebody tells me that, I think about it's a nightmare. I know I have to deal with it one day, but I don't want to. Sorry, man. It's really, that's horrible. Jesus. Shauna, thank you so much for the super chat saying, to be clear, Trump is the best president in my lifetime and the only one who had the balls to take out the supreme leader. I also think Rubio has become better politician under Trump's tutelage. Did I pronounce that right?
Yep.
Yes.
Yeah. I think Shauna is right about that.
Yes.
I think that Rubio has learned. Not necessarily tutelage, but I think a sort of observation through observation. I mean, I think that there are some ways in which there were a kind of political norms that were hamstringing politicians, and it does feel like Rubio is more liberated as a result of his time in the Trump administration, and it's really showing. I think he really is looking really strong because of that. So I agree with that. I just wanted to mention I wanted to say it earlier, but I think Vance is a really fascinating figure, and I would like to do a deep dive on Vance at some point, and maybe that's something that Shauna would be interested in doing as well, because I know she has interest in Vance as well, but maybe you guys want to do that too. I think there's a lot to explore there. But he's a fascinating figure.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm looking forward to guys doing that. That's fantastic. And Shauna has the best takes, honestly, and she's very knowledgeable, scary knowledgeable.
Yeah.
And thank you, Shauna, for the super chats. Lightwolf, thank you so much for the jewels, for the 5 jewels, and then another 10 jewels. Thank you so much, Lightwolf 333. And then Guy, I think you start this.
Yeah, it's just I don't know what it's about, but it's an interesting something to look into. Make sure you dive into the corruption in Vance's Ohio office. I don't know what that's about. I don't know if there is corruption in Vance's Ohio office, but apparently it's at least being claimed, so that's worth looking into.
Sid and Shauna will be on the case.
Yeah. I didn't even know about that. So yeah, interesting to look into. Thank you.
So I have 4 videos from inside Iran that I wanted to share with you guys, just because we are celebrating the economic pressure that might hopefully speed up the fall of the Islamic Republic. But there are many videos that shows how this is affecting the Iranian people, and I just want to show one of them because we shouldn't forget what they have to deal with this in the middle of all of this. So this guy, he has no gas left. He was waiting for 45 minutes to get to the gas station, and right when his turn, they closed the gas station. And in the heat, he was just, so let me just play this. And like after 45 days of waiting for getting to the gas station in the line, you could see like my I have no more gas left. Like it's not going to be able to go anymore. And like, look, just like that, they closed the gas station because they ran out of gas. Like he was just about to get to the gas station. It was about to get his turn, and they shut it down. Yeah, just like that, they shut it down. And like this is the 3rd gas station I went to. I went to 2 other stations and they were closed. And then after 45 minutes, this is what I'm dealing with.
واقعا هیچکی نمیخواد توجه کنه به این داستانا.
Like, is anyone paying attention to this? So yeah, I just saw this and I was just imagining that if this is what I had to go through in a day. So I don't know what he's going to do with the car. Is he just going to leave it in the street and just go? Like, because what is he going to do? Like, he can't even leave.
Yeah, I mean, I think probably the best move is to leave it there, you know. And so it's first, it's close to the front of the line. I mean, how's he going to get it back? I mean, he's going to get it back. It's going to require the same amount of gas or more from a tow truck, you know. And then what's he going to do when it's home? So that's probably the best move. So I just want to say something about let's say a pre-response to people who would look at this and say, look what the U.S. is doing. And this is hurting average Iranian people, ordinary people, and it's cruel. So my response to this is, it is very sad what's happening to the Iranian people, and it's very painful. And I know that in a sense, like, okay, we're at war and we're doing economic warfare, and so the problems internally are going to be exacerbated. So let me admit that up front. But what I would say is that a government is responsible for looking after its people, and this particular government has proven over and over again that it has no interest in that. It has no interest in that. It is happy to sacrifice its own people for the sake of its ideological fantasies in other parts of the world. And this is the thing that we're trying to get rid of. What we want to do is we want to replace this cruel, psychopathic government with a functioning government that actually looks after the interests of its people. And we believe that a country that looks a country like Iran with a government that looks after its people will not only be good for the people of Iran, but for people in the region and people in the world.
Yeah.
No, 100%. And to be clear, most of the people in Iran don't blame any of this on the United States. Most of the people in Iran blame this on the Islamic Republic. One of the most famous chants in the streets of Iran for the past years is that "Dushman ma haminjas durugh migan Amrikas," which means our enemies are right here. They lie to us when they say it's in America. One of the most famous chants of the Iranian people.
Yeah, and so this is exactly the problem, is that these types of regimes, they fail, and then they blame their own failures on external forces, right? And so with that, they use their own failure to consolidate their own power, and it's a vicious cycle. And I often talk about, I often have this debate with anti-Israel folks. You know, we can say whatever we want about how Israel treats its enemies. Okay, I think Israel actually is quite magnanimous. But whatever. I mean, if you want to think otherwise, that's fine. But what you cannot say is that Israel's enemies treat their own people better than Israel's government treats its people. It is objectively true that Israel's enemies treat their own people terribly. Okay, so at least on that metric, they should outperform Israel before we want to talk about anything else.
Okay, let me go through this super chats. Shauna is saying, "Sid, I would love that. Message me. Hey, can I put you guys in touch on Telegram?"
Yeah. Yeah,
I could. Yeah. So
also
I will
put
just
me in touch with Sid on Telegram.
Yes, I have your Telegram guy. I will reach out to you.
Okay.
So I asked Armin for it. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yes, I already did that. So wait, hold on. Sid. Okay, so Sid, now you have Shauna's Telegram. So message Shauna on Telegram.
Awesome.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. There we go. See, great. Look at this, connecting people, and people are doing great projects with each other. This is what
join our school group. You know, it's Shauna is there. I'm there. Armin is there. Guy comes from time to time, hopefully more often. And
it's hard to juggle everything. right now. I'm sorry.
And guys, if you want to join our group calls, because it's also a place where you could eventually, with good participation and other people seeing that you're a good contributor, will get you on these panels if you're interested in coming on these panels, because eventually we're going to have 24/7 panels, right? So we're going to keep going earlier and later, panels. We cover 24/7. So if you want to participate in your own panel segment on talking about politics, come to our community, speak there about politics. And once other people we see that other people are enjoying your contributions, then we will reach out to you and be like, hey, do you want to be on a panel? And then we're going to be on a panel, right, with the rest of us over here. So that's another motivation for why you should come to our group calls. And then we have a super chat from 40 Winks. Thank you so much for the super chat, saying many TDS folks believe Trump enjoys killing his enemies. I mean, I think he enjoys killing his enemies. I mean, well, no, maybe he doesn't. But I would enjoy killing the enemies of liberty. Okay, that's what I think. Saying this is a false premise that creates confusion in assessing Trump's strategic thinking. Trump listens to military planners but leans on Bessent. Okay, I understand. I do think that there is no. It's not wrong to enjoy killing enemies of liberty because you're making the world a better place. But go on, Guy. What do you think?
So, he listens to military planners, but leans on several people, not just Bessent. He made a point of surrounding himself by people with disparate opinions, like different opinions. And I think he leans on all of them and tries to make a well-rounded assessment based on all of the information he's getting. I don't think he just leans on Bessent. Yeah. I'd love if he just leaned on Bessent. I think Bessent has been proven right so far.
I think he puts things out there and then lets his people go and try what they're doing and then just see who's producing results, and then he leads on people who are actually producing results. So instead of making a decision right at the beginning, he's just like, oh, you have this method, you have that method, you have this method. Okay, let's do A/B testing. Go do your thing, and we'll just sit back and observe who's producing results. That's what I think he does. Kind of like The Apprentice, right? Kind of like The Apprentice shows. That's what I think he does.
Yeah.
But I might be wrong. Yeah. And thank you so much for the super chat. We got two comments that we wanted to highlight. Sid, this is for you.
Okay, so this is Kipkak80. Kipkak80 says, Sid, let's make a deal. When Iran get liberated, you will play the backing for the national anthem, and Armin will sing it. Yeah, I'm on board. I will do that.
Wait, no. What? No, this is a human rights violation. Armin will sing it? I don't know what. I don't think you guys know what you're asking for.
Auto-tune. We'll just auto-tune it. Don't worry, Armin.
I have to listen to it before it gets auto-tuned. Like that would be self-harm. Thank you so much for the comment. And then Effectual Insurrection 3109 is saying, what else do I have to do to help out with a panel or just call it? Join our group discussion. Again, the link is in the QR code. And yeah, okay. So just participate. Just come and talk to us. And we're also adding, go on.
There's a discussion group in 3 hours led by Armin. You can come ask Armin questions. There's also, after Armin leaves, people stay and just keep the discussion going. Start there. And then after you participate, that's how I started. That's, I think, how Sid started. Just go on to the discussion panels, participate, share your opinion, and so on. And then if you're a positive contributor, you can end up here.
Yeah. There are free segments that are open. They're called open. They're premium segments, and there's VIP segments, right? So the next one that is coming is VIP segment. But if you don't want to join that, then tomorrow we're going to have an open segment, which is free and open for everyone to join.
And I really want to hear from you.
Yes. And Sarah is saying Armin is a terrible singer, LOL. Yeah, I mean, Sarah can tell without even hearing me singing.
Wow,
So
how does she know?
it's obvious. I guess it's obvious.
Is it? I had no idea.
Yeah. And then Shana with a super chat saying, "It is better that one man die than to let a whole nation perish." Mormon scripture. I forget the exact chapter and verse. You know, that's a lot more wise than other scripture because it's utilitarian. Because sometimes people, other scriptures say killing one man is like killing all mankind. Like, no, it's not. Right, but this makes more sense to me. All right. Oh, and then we got another super chat by Effectual Insurrection 3109 saying, not like I'm the president.
I know everything.
No, I think he's talking about Trump.
I know everything. Yes. Okay. Not like, I'm the president. I know everything. LOL. He's humble enough to know he doesn't know everything, but he's smart enough to surround himself with the best people in the cabinet. Will do, fam. Okay. Well, that's great. He's going to join us. Okay. Yeah. And I do agree with that. This is why C students make better CEOs than A students. Did you guys know that? This has been empirically shown. A students think that they could do everything themselves. So they don't rely on smarter people. C students have always learned that there are better people than them. So they're always looking for the best people. So they end up making better CEOs. And thank you for the super chat. All right, I have more videos to show you guys from inside Iran. So there's a new video of Mujtaba Khamenei.
What?
And
really?
It's not AI. It's not AI.
Is it actually new though?
No, it's old.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's a new old video of Mujtaba.
It's old in the sense that it's old, but it's a new in the sense that it has never been seen, right?
Yes.
And it's interesting that they're releasing it. They're desperate to show Mujtaba something about Mujtaba, but I think this raises more questions than answers anything, because they are like, people are like, okay, well, if you're releasing this, why are you not releasing something from now, right? But let me just play it. By the way, guys, this is only three. Now we have, I think, in total only 3 videos of Mujtaba. Only 3 videos of Mujtaba. This is the 3rd one.
Oh, ever? You're saying ever?
Ever? Yes. Yes.
یک الگوی اسلامی است. الگوی امنیت اسلامی مبانی توحیدی دارد و اولین مؤلفه آن حفظ عزت استکبار ستیزی.
So his title here is Guiding Professor for some reason. Guiding Professor.
و نفی همه طاغوت‌ها که این امر با وحدت مسلمانان در مقابل جبهه کفر و دفاع از مظلومان در سایه حفظ سیاست موازنه تهدید و برقراری تعامل سالانه با دیگر کشورهای جهان برقرار خواهد شد. الحمدلله رب العالمین. صلوات
Did you see that?
هم عربیش هم فارسیش هر دو ذکر میشه توی از متن زیاد. اونها فرد موظفه که اینجا اظهار نظر کنه یا معلوم میشه که این هست اینجا. این در مورد این برادر بزرگوارمون واقعا وجود داره به نظر من. ببینید الان مثلا شما هر جور باز بکنین وقتی که اشاره کردن.
Anyways, he keeps talking. It's about Islamic jurisprudence. It's not even political stuff. They're doing Islamic studies, I think. But this was a weird part. Did you guys see? This is like I don't know why they released this video, because in the middle of the meeting, I don't know, because it's interesting, because look at this. The camera is here and the camera zooms in, and then
با وحدت مسلمانان در مقابل جبهه کفر و دفاع از مظلومان در سایه حفظ سیاست موازنه تهدید و برقراری تعامل سالانه با دیگر کشورهای جهان برقرار خواهد شد. الحمدلله رب العالمین. صلوات الله.
Like, what the hell was that? What was that? Like, why are you, from all the videos you have of him, why are you releasing this one where something happens on the roof, some loud noise, and he's like looking and he's not paying attention, and then they just continue? I don't know. Like, did you not have a better video? This is weird. And it kind of looks like foreshadowing. foreshadowing of things that are about to happen in the future.
It's the strike that's coming down. I think they just really don't have other videos. I think they're scraping the bottom of the barrel.
But but look at this. He's like, he's like wondering what was that, and he's not even paying attention. The guy on the left is not even paying attention, but he's like, what the hell is that? But you know how like in movies sometimes like something happens that resembles something that's about to happen in the future. This is before the strikes. Yeah, foreshadowing. So that's foreshadowing of things about to happen. I don't know. Yeah.
This kind of feels like, you know, when a band breaks up and then like 10 years later they release like the previously unreleased demos, you know, which are like kind of like unfinished or shitty songs that like, but there's so much demand for content that and people like to see the process. But in this case, I just don't think Mujtaba has such a following.
Yeah. Okay, but by the way, this whole classes like this on Islamic studies, they were speed running him on all of this to try to make him into an ayatollah so that he could become a supreme leader, right?
Can you just explain like the color of the turbans? Because he's got a black one, everyone else is white.
So he has a black one because he's a Sayyid. He has a white one because he's not a Sayyid.
Okay, so the black outranks.
Well, I mean, it's supposed to be not that important, but it is. It just means that you're a descendant of Muhammad.
Oh, that's what it means.
Yes, Sayyid means that you're a descendant. Like you don't achieve anything. It's if your lineage goes all if your lineage goes all the way to Muhammad, you get a back. You're a Sayyid and you get a black turban. Wow, and if it doesn't, you get a white.
It's not like a martial arts belt where you graduate from white to blue to green to
Yeah, no, but the ranking is like, I don't know, like Hujjatul Islam, then Ayatollah, then Grand Ayatollah. No, wait, Mujtahid, Hujjatul Islam. Yeah, was that the ranking? Then Ayatollah, then Grand Ayatollah, right? So it's interesting because according to the Constitution of the Islamic Republic, you have to be a Grand Ayatollah to be worthy of being a supreme leader, right? And Ali Khamenei himself was not a Grand Ayatollah, and they made him a supreme leader. To the point where they actually, there's a video of him when they were picking him for the supreme leader. He himself says that goes against the Constitution, but they made him a supreme leader anyways, right? But the thing interesting is that Mujtaba is not even Ayatollah. Forget about Grand Ayatollah. Like he should have done so many classes and teach many scholars in Islam to get the ranking of Ayatollah, and there hasn't been enough time to be able to reach that, right? So yes, exactly. So, yes, but this is even more illegal for him to be the supreme leader compared to Ali Khamenei being the supreme leader.
Yeah, so this is like this is just slippage, right? I mean, it's just like every subsequent leader is less qualified, yes. And there've only been 3, and so Constitution be damned.
Yes, you know, for example, a Grand Ayatollah was Khomeini was a Grand Ayatollah, right? And Sistani in Iraq is a Grand Ayatollah. But Ali Khamenei was never a Grand Ayatollah, and that's why he always was threatened by Sistani, because many Shias around the world see his rulings with more, like, consider it with more authority than Ali Khamenei, who was never a Grand Ayatollah. And that's why Ali Khamenei was always threatened by Sistani in Iraq.
Yeah. So we should probably point out that if these guys are wondering why the Mehdi hasn't shown up, it's because they have corrupted the guardianship.
Yes. Oh, yeah. There you go. All right. That's a good point. Maybe we got 2 super chats. One by what? Asaf. I don't know.
Asaf Elron.
Asaf Elron.
It's as say.
Asaf.
Oh, no, it's Asaf. It's Asaf.
Asaf.
It's a name. It's a Hebrew name. It's Asaf Elron. He donated shekels. It's a Hebrew name. It's Asaf Elron.
Okay. Saying, I don't think the U.S. would openly say they plan a regime change. Such a thing must be kept secret until execution.
I disagree.
Okay, go ahead.
I think they will never say it even after it's executed. They will just just from in American ears, saying that you want regime change is just such a big no-no that I think they'll never ever say it, even after it's happened. That like they'll always say that wasn't our goal. It was like the last eventuality. And I think that's sort of what they're doing now with economic D-Day, because Bessent did say we're going to collapse the regime. But Trump said we gave them chance after chance after chance after chance, and for the Americans to say that would have to be after they made it appear as though they've exhausted all other possibilities, whether that's the reality or not. So I think we'll never actually know what they want. But I don't think it must be kept secret until execution. Must be kept secret until after execution, as like a proper like if that's a strategy, you'll never admit that was always the strategy.
Yeah. So maybe just I think so. This probably was I think maybe it was a response to Guy mentioning Michael Duran, and saying that they wouldn't tell Duran. So I think that, but Guy's point is different, because Duran is a sort of a Washington foreign policy insider. So you know he's chatting with people in an informal setting, and in that case, he would expect to hear somebody say, "Yeah, you know, that's part of the plan." You know, I mean, so I think if he's saying that across the board, nobody is saying that. I think it is a strong signal. I mean, it doesn't mean that Duran knows everything, but it is a strong signal. And so, while I agree with Asaf here, where he's saying that the U.S. would not openly say it, there's so much chatter right underneath the surface. So there is basically official policy, and there is this sort of gossip. And I think Duran is kind of reporting on the gossip here. But the official policy, I mean, even Trump has sort of indicated regime change a couple times, but I think sloppily, right? You know, typically what would happen, I think, which is what Asaf is getting at, is that the official policy would be very, very hesitant to declare an interest in regime change, even if that interest was there.
Also, Scott Bessent recently said something similar. He said, he indicated that the goal of this is the collapse of the regime. He said that, Scott Bessent, which is the first time.
And Trump has even said a couple times, why not regime change? So he's kind of hinted at it, and again, and not in a very sophisticated way,
but not as direct as Scott Bessent just did.
No.
Yeah. And thank you, Asaf. Thank you so much for your super chat, Asaf. Justin, thank you so much for the super chat, saying, "Oh yeah, that dude totally sips his martini with his pinky up." Okay. okay. This guy, Mushtabo. Okay, that makes sense. I mean, yeah, that's what the reports indicate. Okay, so 2 more videos from inside Iran before.
Sorry. Do we have another second on that? Can you show that comment again? Sorry.
Oh my God. Yeah, it's okay. Let me see. I'll go find it.
No, it's okay. Okay. So yeah, no, I'm curious about this because it's interesting, because one of the reports that I remember hearing was that after the initial strike, where Mujtaba was badly injured, he was in hospital, and he was so drugged up that he was sexually soliciting male hospital workers. I don't know if you remember hearing this, but this was and I'm still now I'm thinking about that. This was sort of this was the rumor that was floating around. I don't know if you guys heard it, but that was coming out as sort of evidence but it seems like if that was the case, I mean, if he was capable of sexually soliciting male hospital workers, then he'd be capable of doing something more than just completely disappearing.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know if those rumors were true, but I did hear.
Probably not. That's what I'm saying.
I mean, but we do know he's gay, because that was the report by the American intelligence that he's gay.
There's breaking news. Can I interrupt, or do you want to do it later? It's
Yeah,
not
no,
about.
no,
I mean, it's direct. It's indirectly related to what we're talking about. But apparently, Netanyahu just said that Iran tried to murder one of my sons. It's now revealed through it was months ago and was not permitted to say because of censorship, like military censorship.
Oh,
But apparently, he just revealed that Iran tried to murder one of his sons. Presumably, it's the one that lives in Miami.
What? Say that again.
Presumably, it's the one who lives in Miami.
Yes, that was.
By the way, I was in school with the other one.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Okay. What are the consequences of this news?
I don't think any. I think Netanyahu would want regime change now. So it doesn't change anything, but it is big, and it suggests that they would probably also try to do that with Trump. Like that's something they would do, right?
Somebody saying whose son? Netanyahu's son. Netanyahu's son. The effectual insurrection was asking.
So
is this confirmed? What's the source?
This is Amit Segal is reporting that Netanyahu just made the statement. I don't know where he made the statement, but it's if Amit Segal is reporting it, then it definitely happened. He's not going to make up a quote.
Okay.
So
okay.
I mean,
yeah.
Sorry.
No, you go ahead.
Yeah, I just wanted to jump in here, but I think now is not the time to go into it. But I would love to get guys' take on Yair Netanyahu, because he seems to be himself a kind of a polarizing figure among Israelis that I talk to. So I don't really know the backstory there, but it would be interesting to get into that at some point.
So talk to me on Telegram, and we'll set up a stream where we discuss it in more depth.
Cool.
Awesome.
I think he's a product of the media.
You know what? I'm going to skip these two videos. I'll just do this on Ali's segment later today, because I don't know. I do want to get to more, the Israeli stuff that we have Guy here for. So, guys, these videos from inside Iran, I will cover them later today on Ali's segment. This guy was saying, I think this guy is being sarcastic. Just wanted to quickly respond to it. If you guys wanted to respond, saying breaking news: the White House insiders leak that Scott Bessent, who has no idea why oil prices are rising, will be meeting with Pete Hegseth, who has no idea why he lost a war to Iran, and President Trump, who has no idea why anyone believed his campaign promises. This got 31,000 likes and 500,000 views. Is that worth
what? Do you think that people hate Trump? Like, obviously, the people with. Of course, this would get a lot of likes.
I know, but I just wanted to see if there's a good. I'm not surprised. I'm not saying that I'm surprised. I'm not communicating surprise. But I just wanted to say that. This is not even saying anything. Do we want to respond to it?
No, it's not, exactly. It says breaking news. Breaking news is that Trump is meeting with 2 of his cabinet secretaries.
And I don't think it's actually breaking news. I think it's just wanting to say how all 3, like using the who doesn't know blank for all 3. I don't think there's that's that they're meeting.
No, that's exactly my point. Exactly my point is that the claim is that it's breaking news, and when you read it, it's saying that the president is meeting with 2 of his cabinet secretaries, which is something that is like so mundane, so pedestrian. So it's just this whole thing is just like it's just an excuse for for sort of like political diarrhea.
Yeah, agreed.
Okay. All right, so let's move on. So this is a breaking news I thought we should touch on by Weisgard, saying breaking: a 15-year-old Iraqi boy has been decapitated in Baghdad for criticizing Iran on a video that he uploaded to Facebook. Friends and family members quickly tried to storm the killer's home, but were stopped by police officers. So this is them trying to storm the house of the killer. All right, so I guess we get the point. 15-year-old boy decapitated because of criticizing Iran on Facebook.
Yeah, so I mean that's the ideology we're dealing with here. You know, there's people who think that that's the appropriate response to a criticism. You know,
and as unpopular as it might be. Oh, sorry, go ahead.
No, I was just gonna say, like, well, I'm looking at this and like, you know, I absolutely want justice, but this scene is itself like it's a bit troubling. Like, I mean, you know, like this is just the thing. Like, a 50-year-old boy is dead and tensions are inflamed, but I'm just seeing flags and seeing people like with camera phones. Like this feels like itself a sort of a political demonstration rather than a desire for justice. So, you know, it's this response itself. I don't know what's behind it, but I would find this response itself quite troubling.
Because they're bringing their Shia flags. You know, to me, this is like the Shia segment that is anti-Islamic Republic versus the Shia segment that is pro-Islamic Republic. Because if you are here for justice, why are you bringing your flags?
Yeah. This looks like more like, you know, jihadi on jihadi, you know, sort of jihadi showdown.
Yeah, no, these are not PMF flags because the PMF would be pro-Islamic Republic, not anti. So these people are probably anti-Islamic Republic.
Yes, I was going to say, I thought it would be potentially an unpopular opinion, but apparently it's not. I'm glad the police stopped it because Iraq has the chance of becoming a proper law and order country. And you can't just have people doing vigilante justice. As disgusting as this is the role of the state to take care of. You can't just have people storm houses and then kill each other, and then you'll have revenge and, you know, family feuds and so on, and honor killings.
Yeah. I mean, the answer to something like this is not sectarian violence.
Yeah, exactly. Someone did say, Motorride said 15 is already old in Islamic culture. That is true. It's already an adult. And that's why Hamas soldiers also start at the age of 15. And that's why when they say 20,000 children killed, they mean under the age of 18. But a lot of those are just soldiers that happen to be under 18, which is a Western construct for what a child is.
Yeah.
Yeah. And Amy was asking how old was he? He was. Yeah. Amy was asking how old was he? He's 15. Yeah. 15-year-old Iraqi boy has been decapitated. Yeah. For Facebook post.
And just to be clear, Guy was not justifying his decapitation.
Oh, no, absolutely. No, wow. They should be like.
Wow. Thank you for clarifying that. I almost thought that Guy was pro decapitation of 15-year-old boys. But thank you for making that clear. Thank you. No, but guys, seriously, this is hard. Cappy with a super chat saying El Sayed interview on Fox 8 p.m. with Jesse Waters. Oh my god. Ooh. Wow, that would be I would want to watch that. Thank you for telling us. We'll probably will review that tomorrow.
Yeah, I mean, so this is the kind of thing that like I think it's going to be just political theater where each of them are sort of messaging to their own camp, and nothing really gets talked about. That's my prediction anyway, but hopefully I'm wrong.
I disagree. I mean, it might be political theater, but I think it's important because Jesse Waters specifically is going to hold him his feet to the fire. And if there are like people who haven't quite heard yet what El Sayed is about, then Waters is going to reveal it and make it easier for undecideds to become decided against him.
Yeah, but thank you for telling us because we're probably going to watch it tomorrow here and respond to it. So thank you for telling us, Cappy. And Nima, thank you so much for the super chat saying September 30th can't come sooner. Wait, what is September 30th?
Yeah, I don't know.
The deadline for disarming the PMF in Iraq.
Oh, the PMF.
Oh, well, yeah. Hashil Shabi, Popular Mobilization Front. Well, good thing Guy is here to remind us of it. Well, thank you. Yeah. Okay, good reminder, Nima. Thank you so much. Yeah, we'll see what happens. You know, Ghalibaf was in Iraq recently trying to convince the Iraqi government to, instead of disarming them, to give the guns to the Islamic Republic to hold on, so that once Trump is out of office, they could just give it back. That's the deal he was trying to make. In return for allowing Iraqi ships to go through the Strait of Hormuz, safe passage in return for that. So apparently they said no. And thank you, Nima. Thank you for the super chat. Two more updates before we go to Israel. We got this breaking news. It says Iran discovers gas reserves of over 7 trillion cubic feet, potentially worth billions of dollars. And then I had this other place telling us how many billions of dollars. So breaking, Iran's oil minister has announced the discovery of a new gas field worth $165 billion. The volume of this new discovery is estimated at over 7.5 trillion cubic feet of natural gas.
This is fantastic news.
Yes, because hopefully they don't get to sell any of it, and it will be just left for us. Yeah.
Right now, the problem isn't a lack of gas, but once Iran is free, this is a good reserve to have. So that's great.
This is what true. We will rebuild Iran with. That's another additional $165 billion for us to be able to rebuild Iran after.
Yeah. And by the way, to clarify for people who don't know, like I said, they don't have a lack of gas, but then we just showed earlier a video of there's no gas in the pumps.
Yeah.
What they have is crude gas. They have a lot of crude gas, but they can't refine it because the Islamic Republic is dumb, and so they never made the effort of creating refining capability over the last almost 50 years. And therefore, they have to export their crude oil and then buy refined oil. And so they have a lot of unusable oil by them right now, which they would have to sell to be able to buy usable oil. So they do have a lot of oil, and at the same time, they have nothing they can use themselves.
Yes, and most of this is something that has been very embarrassing for the Islamic Republic for the past few years, is that they're sitting on a lot of oil and gas, and by gas we mean natural gas, not the gasoline that the Americans mean when they say gas. So because that's refined, right? And they don't have enough refineries to turn their own energy into refined car fuel. So they have to export the oil and then get other people to refine it and then import it, which is embarrassing, right? For a country with this much natural resources to have to rely on other countries to refine their oil for them because they don't have enough refineries. Also, a lot of the refineries that the Islamic Republic relied on to get gasoline was in Russia, which Ukraine recently blew up. One of the reasons why there is a shortage of car fuel, gasoline in Iran is not just because of the blockade. It's also because of Ukraine blowing up Russian refineries. So that's an important addition.
So apparently enough people weren't aware of this in the chat. So I'm glad I said this. I need to remember that there are new people potentially every time. So even things that are very obvious to us, and like we've talked about it a lot, we should.
Oh, you guys
bring them up.
Yes, this is something we Iranians have been making fun of the Islamic Republic for years. A country that is sitting on this much oil and gas has to import fuel for cars that run in Iran. It's really embarrassing. It's really embarrassing.
Yeah. And I suspect the reason is because they're so impatient to get the funds, right? So they can have more money if they just invested, right, in their own energy infrastructure. They could make a lot more money, but they don't do it because they're so impatient to get the funds to Hezbollah.
Yeah, and it's even worse. Like there is a gas field in the Persian Gulf with so much gas in it. It's crazy how much gas is in there. I forgot the numbers, right? And the reason why Qatar has one of the highest, I think the highest GDP per capita in the world is because of this gas field that is shared between Iran and Qatar, right? And one reason why Qatar doesn't want regime change, I think the main reason why Qatar doesn't want regime change in Iran is because the Islamic Republic's incompetence means that they cannot extract gas from this gas field at the level that Qatar is. And every year that goes by, because the Islamic Republic is not extracting gas from this gas field, it leaves more for Qatar. And Qatar is taking all of this gas and leaving less for Iran because the Islamic Republic doesn't have the infrastructure and the ability and the technology to extract gas as much as Qatar is. And this gas field alone is one of the main sources of Qatar's wealth. And the Islamic Republic is just letting Qatar take it because it can't take as much. And that's one of the main reasons why Qatar loves the Islamic Republic, because they're enabled to take gas.
By the way, speaking of Qatar, there's a very interesting report by the Financial Times. Apparently, Qatar has slashed its external funding by 85% because of the war. Like they had to rebalance their budgets.
Well, sorry, like, they slashed what?
They slashed by their foreign aid or foreign facing funds by 85%.
Really? Because of what?
Which is excellent news. Because of the war, because they lost a lot of their like either refineries or
ability to sell gas, LNG gas
sure.
is there, because gas is not like oil that you could funnel it through pipes.
Right.
You have to get it on ships. Those gas, they have to get on ships. Like not in the same way, at least. Like that, the infrastructure doesn't exist. So they're hurting that.
Bonus.
Yes.
So just quickly, I saw some things in the chat asking about Israeli natural gas. I did remember hearing a few years back that Israel had found a significant natural gas
off of Gaza, right off of Gaza in the Mediterranean Sea.
Yeah, Guy, you know anything about that? What's the latest on that?
I mean, the latest is we now have gas reserves that we're using both to make our gas prices smaller than they were, because we're not relying on other people to use our own resources effectively, and also we're a huge exporter of gas now. So it was a huge boon for Israeli economy, which was excellent before the gas reserves, but now we're also an exporter of energy, essentially, which is excellent.
Yeah, that's fantastic. So I mean, so for everyone listening, I mean, the thing is that the Israeli economy, which is quite impressive, has been really built without energy as a natural resource. So this is coming at a time where Israel has already built a very, very dynamic economy, and now you say, okay, well, is it now an energy exporter? That is a massive boost to Israeli potential.
Yes.
Omid, who's an Iranian, is making a request to Israelis, saying, "Israel, can you conquer Qatar, please?" so thank you.
So yes. So in a slightly serious response to that, someone in the chat said I look too serious. But nevertheless, I'll take my chances and continue being serious. In a slightly serious response,
let me tell you something. Omid is being serious, but go on.
Yes, I know. So they actually just bought, like a couple days ago, a few fueling tankers that you would only need if you need to do long-term flights. And where would they need to do long-term flights? So some people are like afraid that they might want to eventually attack Israel. And my response is, oh my God, please do. You're the size of a city. And if you start a war with us, that'll be the best thing that can ever happen. If you directly, Qatar, start a war, that's the best thing that could ever happen. So I don't think that they are. What?
Qatar with what army?
Yeah, I know. No, it's not. I don't like, people said this, and it's like, well, we know they're not, and there might be other uses, but we should keep it in mind. No, if they attack us, they'll attack once, and then they're done. So I hope they do that. It's not going to happen.
Yeah, they won't do it. They won't do it.
Yes. Did not. Shauna, thank you so much for the super chat, saying, I think I'll say it is either brave or stupid for going on Jesse Waters. Actually, I hope it's because Sayed is Saeed. I mean, Saeed is it Saeed or Saeed? Sayed.
Yes, Sayed.
No,
Is
it's Sayed.
Sayed is desperate. Looking at like you guys think he's desperate? So looking at Polymarket, he used to have a huge lead over Mike Rogers, and this is for the upcoming midterms, guys. He was at 84. Mike Rogers was at 15.
Can you just
Then
scroll
when
up?
he won the
Armin, scroll up a bit because we can't see it.
Because of the Sean
let me
is coming.
remove this. Sorry, yeah. So here, Abdul was used to be at 84, and Mike Rogers was at 16. Then it came all the way down to 54. 55.
So 56,
55 for Abdul and 46 for Mike. But now the gap is increasing again, and Abdul is at 62, and Mike Rogers is at 39. So,
however, I don't take this poll specifically seriously because the total volume of trade is a few $100,000. So you don't have like big people with smart money,
yeah,
like taking part in it.
So
this is not a poll I take seriously. I mean, I don't know how many people are invested in this, but presumably you have.
I think
like
the amount
hundreds.
of money matters more than the number.
Yeah, that's also true.
Yeah, but that's a good point.
I don't think
this is a low number.
Yeah, I mean, I think so. Like, if you assuming you have at least a few hundred people taking part, it's like $1,000 per person. It's not like there isn't like smart money involved here. There are people who are emotionally betting on things that they. And going off of just what they see on the news.
No. Like I don't buy that argument for when it comes to markets. When people buying emotionally, you usually get adjusted by the people who take advantage of the arbitrage of the emotional people. Like
when you have enough.
Yeah.
When you have enough enough investment.
Yeah.
That's why I'm not taking this seriously. If you had like millions,
but I don't know. But I don't know. But I don't have a reference to see if this is a low number or not. So I have to see if this is considered low.
So can you just look at, because if they still have the Francesca Hong governor's race here on Polymarket?
To see how much was invested there.
Say who? Where?
Francesca Hong, Wisconsin governor primary.
I have to look at that. So let me see.
All right, sorry to spring it on you, but
I can try to find it.
Here, let me see.
So meanwhile, while you're looking for it, I can say that I looked into the Vance corruption thing, and most of it seems to be a nothing burger. There's like there are several accusations that essentially amounted to nothing. There's one where like PolyFact is saying mostly true that he took a few tens of thousands of dollars that he was supposed to pay for fighting the opioid crisis, and then some of the people closest to him were part of it. But like I don't see anything here that would lead me to actually think that Vance had credible corruption charges while he was in office. There are allegations, but I don't see anything that makes me think that any of it was true. Yeah, Francesca Hong. There you go. So she had a total of $1 million.
This was 3 million volume, for reference.
Yeah.
But you can see at the very end, the person who actually won just shot up to 100%. It's very close. David Crowley, who shot up to 100% at the very end. So what color is Francisco? She's not even here.
I don't even see her.
She's not even. Yeah, I mean, you have to
there
go all the way
there
down.
was here Francesca Hong. Yeah, there we go.
Yeah. But I don't see what color she is.
Did she not appear? So what is? Yeah, what is? It doesn't make sense.
She's so insignificant. She's not even the top 4.
No, she was a front runner for most of it in the polls.
Yeah, but
everyone was sure that she was
going to be the
nominee.
So saying that she basically was nowhere, not even in the top 5.
So I think it's the negative space. So like all of them in total have less than 20. Or sorry, okay, Sean has more than 20, but like Francesca was whatever the negative space is, that would have to be her, right? Because if you have people here with like 30% at the highest, and then the next closest is less than 10, like see this percentage, the rest would have to be her.
Okay. All right. Well, yeah, I wanted to see.
This is not very user friendly.
No, it's not.
No.
Yeah. Anyways,
I think it's a bug. They should show her. Yeah.
Yes. Justin, thank you so much for the super chat saying, I can't get over this. Yes, they could make more money if they just invest, but it's worse. They lose crude profit when purchasing back gas, and all while chanting death to US, knowing we could blockade them. How dumb are they really? So let me actually try to steelman them, right? The reason why they couldn't invest in all of this is because they don't have the technology, right? And the so even if they have the capital, they can't. And why don't they have the infrastructure and the technology? Is because even if you're sitting on billions of dollars, you're dealing with sanctions, right? You don't have the technology developed inside Iran. So how do I invest when under sanctions? Who am I going to be able to buy this technology from to be able to do all of this, right? So then you might be telling them, then, okay, then why the hell are you doing all of this terrorism to be under these sanctions so you can't make this investment? Then the answer would be is because they're making more money out of the isolation and the monopoly of the business industries that they control than they would have made if they weren't a command economy, if they weren't isolationists, if they weren't doing anti-imperialism and anti-Zionism. So if you are thinking about the highest amount of benefit to Iran, then what they're doing is really, really dumb, right? But if you look at what is in the best interest of them individually as people who are now have entire industries under their control because of the isolationism and the lack of competition with international companies and the private sector inside Iran, then in that sense, what they're doing is actually makes sense. It's good for their own pockets. It's not good for Iran, but it's good for their own individual pockets. And yes, you're right, Justin. Not anymore, Armin. So say that again, guys, because that's important. Say that again.
If you don't apply long-term thinking, which they don't.
If you don't apply long-term thinking, and Justin is saying that exactly. But yes, not anymore, Armin. So it made sense at the time, but right now, it's like the long-term results of it is what you're saying right now. So not anymore. Yes.
Yeah.
So if you don't apply long-term thinking, go on.
No, so I was just going to say, so this is the nature of these kind of despotic regimes is that they fail and that they use their own failure to consolidate power, right? So they're able to sort of gain more internally. Their power grows as they fail, and so this works, right? This works for the purposes of consolidating power, but it creates this vulnerability, right? So because you've essentially intentionally hampered your own economy. Now, when you have a crisis, you have less tools in the toolbox.
Yes, and a lot of them are dead, and I don't think you can be rich if you're dead, right? So for a lot of them, at the end of the day, what this got them is, I don't know, a drone up their ass. So, congratulations. But yes, and thank you, Justin. That's a very good point to bring up. Just one last Iran-related thing before we go to the Israeli stuff that Guy was talking about. We got this recent news saying, breaking, Trump is saying Xi Jinping should help us reopen the Strait of Hormuz. Wait, when is this from? Is this credible news? Reopen? President Trump said it's already open. And Xi Jinping saying, first tell me, okay, this is a joke.
No, this is not a...
This is a serious news. This is not serious news. Never mind.
Yeah, I do want to use this as a chance to recommend a channel to you people. So I've recently gotten interested in China-related stuff in the same way that I'm interested in Iran-related stuff. And the China equivalent of Liberty Politics and Tusi and Goldie and so on would be Lay's Real Talk. She does podcast. She does live streams as well, where she talks about recent developments. There was a very fascinating thing recently about, you see how people are actually getting fed up with the CCP and using speech in whatever way they can to fight them. There were 3 really interesting stories that she talked about in the last live stream about how people are getting fed up and it's pointing in a good direction.
Okay,
so that's good to know.
Lay's Real Talk. Look it up.
All right. So while we're on the topic, it's funny that you mentioned that guy, because I was telling Armin yesterday, I'm also watching China quite a bit, and I'm very interested in sharing China related content to this group. So I do watch Lay's Real Talk. Another channel I would very highly recommend is Digging into China. And there are a few others, but yeah, if that's an interest of yours, Guy, we should do some deep dives on that. We should do some reactions to some China related content. Because I'm very, very interested in China, and especially interested because this Lei and Don are examples of let's say Chinese dissidents that they're in the West now, who are pro-liberty and are very, very interested commentators and watchers. And it's something that I think is very important to our community as well, to understand that the pro-liberty efforts happening around the world, and especially with regards to a major great power competition player like China.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And a couple comments related to that. One is, can we get Lei on the show? I just had that thought myself. I think it would be very good if we could, to have like a China related, presumably after the war, because it's a bit busy right now with everything going on with Iran. But she's absolutely the kind of person that fits liberty politics like a glove. So either bringing on or collaborating with her, I think could be great. And secondly, and very importantly, Armin, can you read this?
Yes. Amir is saying, and guys, also don't forget to visit Guy's channel. Guys, please do that.
Thank you, Armin.
Guy's channel needs to grow. We are trying to get him to 1,000 subscribers. How many subscribers do you have right now?
At the moment, at this very moment, I have 809 subscribers. I started today with 802.
Okay, guys, let's get him to 1,000 subscribers, and also let's get him watch times, so that we could, we could get him monetized. And Guy, as we keep adding more panels, you should be able to participate in more panels at different times to both get watch time and also to keep advertising your channel for more people to subscribe. So we're going to keep doing that.
For the record, right now I have 1.6K watch hours, so I'm not even halfway there.
Okay, so we need to do more shows though, because I think the rate at which you're gonna increase your watch hours is now going to increase now that we have these panel discussions, right? So I
agree.
So. Okay, great. And Steak and Beans, thank you so much for the memberships. 10 memberships. 10 people are now members because of Steak and Beans. Thank you, appreciate that. Thank you, Steak and Beans, always supporting us, always has our back. All right, let's get to kites from Gaza. Guy, do you want to explain to us what's happening before I play these?
Yes. So I sort of explained it a bit earlier. We'll do it again. Hamas is sending kites from Gaza to the outside. Now, it can also be used in a way to test like angles, trajectories, and so on for using those. Right now, they're just kites, but you can then use the kites and attach something to them, like a Molotov cocktail or something like that. And the point is that they're letting kids fly them, as we're going to see now, because that's like a way to say, oh, we're just poor Gazans trying to fly kites for freedom. They have like cartoons, like not cartoons, caricatures about that, like, oh, we're just poor Gazans trying to think of freedom, and the evil Israelis are not even allowing us to fly kites. But this is very malicious, because the point of the kites is to line step, like, okay, how far can I get beyond what I'm allowed to, because you're not supposed to send anything from Gaza into Israel. Well, now they're sending kites, and then they'll start doing a bit more, and that's what happened over the last 20 years before October 7th, that allowed October 7th to happen, because they constantly kept just pushing the boundary. And they usually use kids to do those things. They send a kid, a little girl with a backpack over the line, like, oh, you're going to shoot a little girl with a backpack who has no weapons and nothing at all after you. And then they have like a demonstration that has kids and adults. and then they just have adults, and then eventually like the border, the security barrier doesn't exist. So that's like that's what they do. So now the government is saying, no, you can't fly a single kite into Israel. If you fly a kite, we're going to find the people who coordinated the flying of the kite. We're going to evacuate the area and bomb the place where they operate from.
Okay, let's play this video. Okay, this. Let me go to maybe this one. This caption says, in Gaza, hold on, the caption says, in Gaza, children are no longer deprived only of their homes, schools, and safety. Even the simplest toy has become a security threat. For kites, each costing just 5 shekels, brought Israel's prime minister's defense minister and army chief around the same table to issue threats and warnings. So
yeah, when we don't need to watch the video, it's just AI video of a poor Palestinian. Oh, I'm so poor, I'm just trying to fly a kite.
I want to see their propaganda. I want to see what they do.
All right.
سامحني يا ابني. الظاهر حتى طيارة كبيرة صارت تخوف ناس كبار.
Say what?
Even a kite is now scares the officials.
Oh.
بس هي لعبة يا بابا.
But it's a game.
ممنوع الطيارات الورقية.
Say what?
You can't fly kites.
هي مش خوفا منها، خوفا عليكم.
طيب احكوا لنا شو كمان
I'm not
ممنوع؟
afraid about
كورة.
I'm afraid for your health. Well, okay.
الألوان ولا طفولة.
Wait, let me play the whole thing. Let me play the whole thing, and then you could just give us.
ممنوع الطيارات الورقية، مش خوفا منها، خوفا عليكم.
طيب احكوا لنا شو كمان ممنوع؟
كورة، الألوان ولا طفولة أولاد غزة كلها. مسؤولون وخرائط واجتماع كامل، والسبب 4 طيارات ورق من أطفال غزة، ثمن الوحدة 5 شواكل.
معقول اللعب صار ممنوع كمان؟
Okay.
So, what else is so the children said after? Do you want me to go through the whole thing, or just when we stopped?
Just a summary of this is gist of it, yeah.
So it's like the salesperson saying, "Oh well, no, I'm you can't fly those kites. I'm not afraid about the kites. I'm afraid for your safety." And then they're like, "Well, what can we play? What else is forbidden?" And he's like, balls and stuff, like basically all children's toys. And then the narrator says, just 4 kites, each costing 5 shekels, have created a security, like a cabinet meeting to discuss them and all that stuff. And then you have the child saying, "I just want to play games," with a single tear being shed from his eye.
And look at this. This person is saying the Israelis have issued orders to attack any child seen playing with a kite in Gaza, then forcibly clean out the very same area of all residents. So this is a lot of propaganda.
By the way, yeah. And that's the point of it. And by the way, historically, Hamas has used kites specifically to send like dangerous stuff over the border, like Molotov cocktails and so on.
This is so evil. Look at this narrative.
Yes.
Israel declared war on children's kites, considering them military targets. Reports stated that orders were issued to attack any child in Gaza seen playing with or flying a kite, along with instructions to evacuate residents from any area where a child was seen flying one. So let me just see what's this. Okay. We don't need the music. This is weaponizing children, and they're like, oh my God.
That's exactly what it is.
It's interesting because I know this is going to work. I know that the leftists in the United States are going to be like, oh my God, these people they're afraid of kites, and now they're going to kill children for playing with simple toys. This is evil, but honestly smart.
Yes.
Smart, yeah.
And part of the reason is that they know that that people, left-wing people in the West, will never believe that they can be this evil.
Despite them broadcasting it a day on the daily in Arabic.
Yes.
So they have no problem, no compunction against talking about their own evil.
Yes.
And they do it in the security that the aligned Western media will never report that, and actually sanitize it. They will sanitize it for the purpose of enabling Western guilt.
Yes, exactly.
Unbelievable.
Oh, okay. So Koala Kitty is asking, are we not watching Scotty B? I guess Scotty B is live now. We didn't also get to Tom Barak, by the way.
Oh, we are going to go after this to Tom Barak. So usually when there's a live discussion, or announcement, we wait for the clips of it to come out, and then we respond to the clips. Probably we're going to review it on Ali's segment later today. Ali is going to be all over everything because Ali has been waiting for exactly that. So we're going to, and then tomorrow, same time, we're going to talk about it as well. Right. So we're going to go to Tom Barak. Let's do the super chats first. Justin, thank you so much.
I'll be right back, by the way.
Saying, oh, okay. Saying, oh, they thought the business model of paying off world leaders not to hold them accountable was always going to work. They didn't factor in a world leader that wouldn't take the bribe, like Trump. Yeah, they didn't factor in Trump. I agree with so that made all their calculations not work. That's right, Sid. That's I agree with that. So
hold on. Let me see. They thought the business model of paying off world leaders not to hold them accountable was always going to work. They didn't factor in a world leader that would take the bribe, like Trump. What is he referring to?
So he's referring to
crude oil.
Yes.
But who is they?
Not refining crude oil. They thought the
Islamic Republic.
They thought it would always be able to. Yeah.
Sorry.
I have to go put my daughter to sleep.
Okay.
Okay. So we're not gonna do Tom Barak then because we already did this part. So it's okay. We could do it.
Yeah.
No, you could do.
Yeah. Okay. So let's do it tomorrow. Okay.
Okay. Sounds good. No worries. We'll do DSA stuff. All right.
All right. Sounds good.
Thank you. Oh, wait. Before you go, guys, make sure you subscribe to his channel. Link is in the description. Don't forget to show him love. Okay. Go and support him so his channel could get monetized. Don't forget that. Link in the description.
Yes.
Thank you, guys.
And if anyone happens to be interested in learning Hebrew, I have an online course that I made for Hebrew. Apparently, some people in the community are interested. It's on this website, Hebleo, Hebleo. You can look it up. And if you're interested, I highly recommend it. Of course, I do because I made it. All right.
Thanks, Guy.
Bye, everyone.
Talk to you soon.
Thank you, Guy. Talk to you soon.
Okay, so going back to what Justin said. So Justin basically saying that, like, I think that is a fair point, Justin. That they do use the Islamic Republic does use their energy as a leverage to influence their energy wealth as leverage to influence world leaders and policymakers. And I think that Trump is benefiting from American energy independence, which he had himself had a hand in developing. So that he is less. He's. It's not to say that Trump isn't influenced by energy pricing, because clearly he is. But he has much more insulation, and way more insulation than, for example, European leaders who are very dependent on external energy, and in no small part because they refuse to develop their own resources.
Yeah, but I do think that when Trump lost, to Biden, the Islamic Republic really felt like they dodged the bullet, and that they're safe now, right?
Yeah.
And then when he won again, all of their calculations, was for naught. like the Islamic Republic would have survived for decades more if President Trump wasn't elected in office. That is 100% true.
Yeah.
And thank you, Justin, for the super chat. And then we have Cappy. Cappy, thank you so much for the membership gift. Thank you. And I'm remembering now. See, I almost forgot, but now I'm remembering that. And thank you always. Shauna with a super chat saying Shauna is saying just have to point out that the child they picture is old enough to marry in Islam. Yes. Good reminder.
Yeah, so exactly. I mean, Shauna makes a great point here because they sort of weaponize our emotional response to children. And at the same time, they are happy to put children in harm's way in order to advance their own political goals. So there's just like their calculation is, oh, you care about children. We don't, but you do. Okay, so we're going to use that, right, to advance our aims, and we should really be doing the opposite. And it's because they don't care about children that we have to oppose them.
Yes. Yeah. It's really easy to see who's on the right side of this. Hold on, let me actually get these in the right order. And you start this one. Thank you, Shauna, by the way.
I just saw it. I mean, I don't know anything about it. But that looks interesting.
I'm looking at it right now. Yes, it fell 2% today. I wonder why. That's pretty good. That's good news. That's
very
good news
interesting
for us.
timing given the economic D-Day.
Yeah. I wonder why. 2% in one day is significant. 2% in one day is very significant. So, thank you for telling us.
50 Fitness. Thank you.
50. Yes, thank you. All right, so let's do some U.S. politics. This is a list that I have. Just let me quickly go over them and see if you wanted to respond to them. This is Asmund Gold talking about Hassan Piker.
I'm sure there's a lot of Muslims that hate Hassan. Like, I mean, you would never know that Hassan is a Muslim by anything that he does. He drinks alcohol. He has dogs. He gets involved with...
Wait, Hassan Piker is a Muslim? Is he? I didn't know that.
No, so I would say that he's kind of a sort of a pro-Muslim influencer. But his behavior, I don't think that he talks so much about his faith or anything like that, right? So, or maybe even at all.
I didn't know. I mean, I guess if he's a Muslim, then that shows how correct Asmund Gold is, because I didn't know.
I haven't looked into it, but I don't really think that Piker calls himself a Muslim, but I might be wrong. I might be wrong, but I don't think so.
Okay.
He has dogs. He gets involved with all kinds of other random stuff. Like, I mean, I've never seen him pray. He doesn't have a Quran in the background, at least that I don't see. Like, I feel like I'm more of a Muslim.
Oh, okay. So that's funny.
That's probably true.
Shauna is saying cultural Muslim. Cultural Muslim would mean that you're visibly Muslim, but you don't believe in it, right?
So, no, I don't think it quite means that. But I think it means that, like, you maintain the identity without strict adherence.
No, that's a nominal. No, that's a nominal Muslim. A cultural Muslim has to culturally do something. So a cultural Muslim has to somehow demonstrate something Islamic about them. A cultural Muslim, so a nominal Muslim, in my opinion, believes but doesn't do anything. A cultural Muslim is the opposite of a nominal Muslim, in my opinion, right? A nominal Muslim believes in Islam, but doesn't demonstrate anything in their life that looks Islamic, right? A cultural Muslim is the opposite. A cultural Muslim says, I don't actually believe in this stuff.
Yeah,
right? But
I agree.
For cultural reasons, I do things that looks Islamic. Like I participate in the
Yes,
community.
yeah,
I do pray
yes,
and fast.
exactly.
Right?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah,
So,
yeah.
so I think
I don't think we're in disagreement about that. Yeah.
Yes.
So just like Richard Dawkins called himself a cultural Christian, right? So he's saying like, I reject all of the supernatural stuff, but I still sort of subscribe to the tradition in a sense. Like I maintain certain traditions. So I think, you know, that may be true. I don't know of Hassan Piker, but his behavior doesn't suggest
that he's a cultural Muslim, maybe a nominal Muslim. But do you see what I'm saying? How a nominal Muslim and a cultural Muslim are the opposite of each other. Like nominal holds the belief, but without the aesthetics and the practice. A cultural Muslim has the aesthetics, but without the belief. So they're polar opposite of each other. And the reason why I think that
wait, but before you go any further, because I want to clarify this. Like, so what would you say about Erdogan?
Oh, he's both cultural and he's a Muslim both by belief and in effect.
So, but as far as aesthetics,
so he's
from aesthetic
so
standpoint,
Erdogan is just Muslim, fundamentalist Muslim.
I know, but what I'm saying is that I don't think Erdogan's and Hassan Piker's aesthetics, I mean, just from appearance, are that different.
Aesthetics is not just about what you're wearing.
Okay.
Do you go to a mosque? Do you pray? Do you fast?
Yeah, I don't think he does that.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't think that he does
he's not a cultural Muslim. That's
what I'm saying. Richard Dawkins, I don't think he's praying. I don't think he's going to church. He calls himself a cultural Christian.
But
maybe he's wrong. Maybe he's wrong.
No. He's not wrong because he celebrates Christmas. He puts out a Christmas tree. Right?
Yeah, so maybe Hassan Piker celebrates some of these like Eid and so on.
Yeah, I have to
doing any
that.
of this stuff.
But Richard Dawkins listens to Christian hymns, right? Richard Dawkins enjoys the bells of a church and likes to listen to them, right?
Yeah,
he finds it smooth. Like I haven't seen Hassan Piker go to a mosque or enjoy like fast or anything like that or celebrate Ramadan.
Okay, yeah.
Right.
So yeah,
that's why I don't think.
Yeah, I don't. So I would just say, like, I don't think he's a believer. So I think that from that standpoint of not being a believer, I would rule him out of being a nominal Muslim by your definition. So again, I could be wrong, but that's my understanding. So to me, it seems like if he's any kind of Muslim, it would have to be cultural. But based on that.
Okay, or maybe he's just not Muslim, like Asman Gold.
Yeah, maybe he's not Muslim. Yeah.
Pray. He doesn't have a Quran in the background, at least that I don't see. Like, how? I feel like I'm more of a Muslim than Hassan is.
Yes, I love it.
True.
It's just very. I mean, I don't know. Like, it's really. I mean, what do we do? Does he eat pork? I don't know if he eats pork. I'm.
Yeah, that's a good point, though. That's funny. That's funny.
I like that.
Okay, speaking of Hassan Piker, let's see his own video. And we have to be careful with Hassan Piker's video because he's very aggressive.
So I just before we say anything, I just want to point out if anyone is confused. So there is one significant difference between Hassan Piker and Richard Dawkins that probably explains a lot, which is difference in intelligence. It's so vast that even if Hassan Piker thought that he was a cultural Muslim, he's too stupid to really know how to look like or behave like one.
Yeah, exactly. All right, let's go to Hassan Piker himself. So let's see what he says over here.
And you want to know why? Because people don't fuck with Israel any longer. And if Jews in America keep putting this idea out there that they are singularly invested in Israel, eventually someone's going to come around and take action, not against the state of Israel, mind you, but against American Jews.
Is that sarcastic terrorism that I just noticed, or no?
This is terror apologia, which this is standard fare for Piker, right? There is nothing unusual about this whatsoever. This is standard fare. This is like, this is daily. This is a daily thing with him. Terror apologia is one of his core
What is terror apologia? Is that the same as
making
stochastic
excuses, rationalizations for terror, right? So basically, it's just in here he's saying like, oh, look, it's bound to happen if you do what you're doing, right? It's bound to happen.
Yeah.
So he's basically it's victim blaming. It's victim blaming is what it is. It's victim blaming.
Yeah. But is it also stochastic terrorism, or am I getting that term wrong?
No, yeah. So I guess my understanding of stochastic terrorism is a little bit different. Like, so I don't think that Hassan is engaged in violence against Jews himself.
No, but that's what makes it stochastic. Stochastic means that you're not directly doing it yourself. If you say like, "Hey, you doing this you're putting the idea out there in people's heads." That's.
Yeah, so I mean, so maybe I might be a little bit confused about what it means. Like what I thought it meant is sort of like that. It's stochastic in the sense that it's like coming from many different directions, and it's not so organized. It's unorganized, sort of spontaneous type of thing. And what he's doing is creating a permission structure. So I don't want to say. I don't want to say that it's neutral in this regard, like, but I just think that like we should be clear about what's happening here. But to me, the way I regard it is that he's rationalizing terror, which is terrible.
So see, effectual insurrection is agreeing with me, saying, "Wow, Armin, I'm impressed. Stochastic terrorism is a great insight. Psychological operations have been running through media since 2015, and Obama ended Smith. The Smith, I don't know what that is. That act over there, but yeah, I and as soon as I didn't even know what's in this video, but as soon as I heard it, I was like, isn't that's my understanding of what this was. Like, listen to it again. I didn't even finish the video.
And you want to know why? Because people don't fuck with Israel any longer. And if Jews in America keep putting this idea out there that they are singularly invested in Israel, eventually someone's going to come around and take action, not against the state of Israel, mind you, but against American Jews.
It's like it would be a shame if something happens to you for defending Israel. That's what it sounds like.
Yeah. So I'm just looking at the definition. So I think you're right, Armin. Stochastic terrorism is the use of mass media and public rhetoric by a figure with a platform to demonize a person or group. This incites random, statistically predictable acts of ideologically motivated violence by an unknown individual, even though the speaker never gives an explicit order or coordinates the attack. So I was really thinking about that violence level, but it seems like this is actually referring to the rhetoric level. And so from that standpoint, this seems to be a pretty clear-cut case. And as I said, this is something he does regularly.
Right. Oh, Sticking Beans with a super chat saying, Islam allows to act as if non-Muslim. That's true. Like drink alcohol, eat pork, or everything in order to get close to the non-Muslims, to durka them later. That is true. It's hard to say. It's difficult to decide how often when somebody does that is because them following this Islamic practice, or just because they're just being like that themselves.
Yeah.
Because many times people are just doing that without necessarily following Islam. But that is true that Islam does allow you to do that. Yeah.
Right. Yeah. And I think famously the 9/11 hijackers were given instructions to engage in obviously sort of un-Islamic behavior before the attack, yes, in order to hide their tracks.
Exactly. And thank you so much, Taking Beans, for the super chat. And Shana was saying he's also exploiting the idea of America only. Who says you can't support Israel and be an American patriot? Why are American Jews the only ones who have to choose one?
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, he did. Yeah. I mean, he thinks that everybody should choose one. To be fair, I mean, I don't want to be fair, but like he thinks that he thinks is the greatest sin is to support Israel, no matter who you are, and you can't work with anybody, even if they're complete in every other way, they ideologically are in line with you. Like if he finds somebody that is anti-capitalism, pro, so-called free healthcare, pro everything. Like on everything they align. But if they support Israel, that's a deal breaker for him. He thinks that's more important than anything else, which shows how obsessed he has said that. I'm not making this up. Like he said this, that if you agree with us on healthcare, on policing, on racism, on everything else, but you are not with us on Israel, then you are not with us. That is the highest priority. He has said that. So which shows how obsessed he is with Israel.
Can you put the comment up again?
Oh man, I should stop. Yes, I should stop unstarring people's comments before I ask you. There we go. I found it here.
Okay, yeah. So I think to me, this brings up a silver lining that maybe we don't necessarily realize, but there's something going on beneath the surface here that I think is worth us paying attention to. So, Shauna is saying, who says you can't support? You say that America only. I think maybe even America first, right? Who says these people say you can't support Israel and be an American patriot? That is the argument that they're making. But they often make it. So this is not Hassan's group. This is more on the right, isolationist right. Who said that you can't support Israel and be an American patriot, but they will often sort of try to advance a kind of a principle stance, which is you can't support any other country and be an American patriot. So any sort of feeling of allegiance to a foreign country other than American is not America first, and therefore not patriotic, right? But the singular focus is on Jews, or let's say not Jews, but supporters of Israel. Right. So that's the one where they are constantly agitating about. And so they're not applying this principle consistently at all. And this is part of the problem, right? This is why it's propaganda. Now, the benefit of doing that, the benefit of highlighting only Israel and agitating only on Israel is that the right is signaling to the left, we can work together. Okay. We hate Israel. You hate Israel. Right. So this is an opportunity for us to collaborate. But what I'm seeing is that collaboration is really not happening. I thought, if they're smart, they would do that, right? They would build an anti-Israel alliance, bringing together both left and right anti-Israel voices. But it's just not coalescing. And I think that this is good news for us. And this is something, so we have the opportunity to start pointing out, hey, are you applying this principle consistently? Is any foreign influence problematic, or is only Israel? Is Israel the only country that America first has to antagonize, or is any country, any foreign country? Okay, and if so, what about Qatar? What about Russia? What about China? Right? So because it seems to me like it's only Israel, and now I think it's only Israel because that is their attempt at building a broad coalition across the political spectrum, and I just don't see it happening. So let's we should always be vigilant, but we should consider that this is a weakness they have, that they are focusing on Israel only because it's an opportunity for coalition, and it's not forming.
That's very well said. And Shana had a follow-up super chat. Do you want to read this and respond to it as well?
Yeah, by choose one, I mean that most ethnic groups in the U.S. have an interest to some level in their homelands, Japanese, Irish, Italians. Even I have more feelings towards Britain. It's natural. Yes, absolutely. I mean, this is the issue. So you look at Piker, and if Piker shows some sort of affinity for Turkey, right, and interest in helping to advance Turkish interests. He doesn't violate his own rule, which is it's only bad if it's Israel. That is the hypocrisy, right? That is the hypocrisy.
I mean, imagine if we go around and ask Iranian Americans to not be loyal to Iran.
Yeah.
Like, why do we care about the uprising of the Iranian people inside Iran? Shouldn't you only care about America? You're an American now. You're an American citizen.
Yeah.
So you shouldn't be celebrating Princess of Pahlavi. You shouldn't be talking about wanting to bring down the Islamic Republic, because what are you loyal to? Aren't you American now? You should be only loyal to America, not Iran. Imagine how ridiculous that sounds.
Well, so yeah, I mean, I think that like we can be suspicious of foreign influence. I mean, this is this is something we ought to be in general. We should be suspicious of foreign influence, and America matters, and America has to operate in its own interests. So that part I agree with. But I think what's happening is that the isolationists are confused, okay, about why America is great and why America is prosperous. So they think that American influence abroad and American interests abroad are leeches. They are it's a parasitical activity that drains American wealth and redirects it. And the opposite is true. Okay, we live in a global world. Like what happens in other parts of the world matter to us, and we need to advance our interests. We have to do that, and if we don't do that, somebody else will. Okay, it will be China and it will be Russia, and once they have a foothold, they will start to influence how American society runs. Do you want that? I don't. I absolutely don't want that. I don't want Iran, the Islamic Republic, or the CCP or Putin. I don't want them deciding how we have to live. Okay, so if the idiots who think if we back off, if America backs off, everything will be cool and everyone will just leave each other alone, they are retarded. That is so fucking stupid. That's just not the way the world works. There is always great power competition. America didn't just decide, oh, we're going to be a great power. This has always been the case. Okay, as long as there's been civilization, there has been great power competition. We can choose to forfeit, or we can choose to try to win and compete. Okay, and not only should we choose to compete, we are more likely to win than our enemies because we have more advantages. We have some disadvantages, okay, but we have more advantages. So we should choose to compete and we should choose to win. Otherwise, we should just say, okay, might as well become a vassal state of China, okay, and deal with their illiberal system, and have them decide what we can say and what we can't say, okay, and have them decide what economic agency we have and what economic agency we don't have. I don't want that.
Okay. That was great. Guys, Sid is on fire, right? Like, let him know in the chat. Like, Sid is on fire. This is great. Really quickly want to go. People gave super chats and support as well. Effie gave us 1,500 joules, and not only that, this 1,500 joules gave the headliner effect, and apparently I missed it, but people said it looked really good. So Nyla was saying that was cool, Effie. And then Black Cricket was like, wow, Effie. And then cool effect. Really, guys? What did it look like? I want to see. And then apparently it was so good that
I missed it.
Yeah, and it was so good that Effectual Insurrection also gave us 1,500 joules.
Thank you, Effectual Insurrection.
Yes, to create the same effect as well. Apparently that's how beautiful it was. Okay, thank you. Thank you for both of you for the 1,500 joules. That's very...
I don't see. We don't see it in the StreamYards, huh?
No, but I have my phone next to me and I see it.
Oh, okay. I know. I'm watching Guy, but I wasn't even watching.
If I'm looking,
Guy is still streaming.
Yes. And then we got another 10 joules from Effectual Insurrection. Thank you so much. And then Debbie just gave us a super chat saying, "Oh, this is what you were recommending, right?"
Guy recommended it, but I do recommend it as well. I should also mention that Lay has another channel called Lay's Looking Glass, and it's less about politics and more about cultural stuff. But the inaugural episode was this really amazing story about the Chinese Jews who actually got there from Iran, from Persia. So it's also worth checking out Lay's Looking Glass.
Thank you so much, Debbie, for the recommendation. And then Effectual Insurrection again gave us a super chat. Do you want to read this one?
Okay, effectual insurrection 3109. Thank you so much for the support. All the people hating an entire group of people because of podcasters or TV are in mass formation psychosis and under a SIAC in the middle of a psychological operation. The crazy right and left are sane. Yeah. So and I largely agree with this. Right. So with regards to Israel, there's a lot of alignment across the extremes, right? Whether we're talking about communists, Islamists, climate maximalists, trans liberation activists, right? Like, so this is a very kind of incoherent, ideologically incoherent group, but they seem to all be obsessed with Israel. But what I think is that there still seems to be some limitations to which to their ability to cooperate. And this is the good news, right? This is the good news. I mean, yes, it's terrible that everybody hates Israel and everybody hates the Jews. This is terrible. I mean, I don't think it is everybody. I think it is, but there is an alarming amount of it. But I do feel like, yeah, we are being psyoped. We are being psyoped. But I feel like it's showing its limits too. That's something we have to capitalize on.
Okay, great answer. Yeah, agree. And then we got 1,000 Joules, which is a goat trophy from Brenda. A goat trophy.
Bring
yes,
the goat.
I love the goat trophy.
Does your goat have a name, Armin?
Yes, of course, Mr. Goat.
Oh, Mr. Goat. All right.
Yes. Okay. Thank you. Thank you for that, guys. Okay, we didn't actually finish this video.
Okay. We're teaching people the wrong lesson. I don't know how people don't recognize how dangerous this predicament is, how dangerous this is for Jews.
For Jews.
You're running around basically tying your entire identity to a country that inevitably will be seen as basically Jewish ISIS. And you're saying, as Jews, this is all we care.
I mean, there's only 2 more seconds left.
Okay, sorry. Okay,
Jewish ISIS to a country that inevitably will be seen as basically Jewish ISIS. And you're saying, as Jews, this is all we care about. You're making anti-Semitism worse. And you want to know?
All right, go ahead.
Okay, yeah. So, so I guess this is always the point of confusion for me, right? So, Jews are basically under constant pressure to condemn Israel, okay, for what he calls like the Jewish ISIS, right? What Hassan calls Jewish ISIS, but I don't see the opposite happening, right? So so now we have ISIS, we have the Islamic ISIS, right? And I don't see Hassan Piker putting pressure on Syrians or Iraqis, right, to reject ISIS, right, and to condemn ISIS in order to protect themselves from potential violence, and that never happens, right? Despite the fact that in 15 years in Syria we have a death toll that is multiples of all of Israel's wars put together. Right? Despite that, it only seems to be like, oh, it's Israel. Israel's the problem. Israel is what you have to condemn. Israel is what you have to condemn. Otherwise, you're going to get hurt.
It's a threat. It's a threat, and it not only is a threat, it's a threat of violence against Jews if they continue to support Israel. Well, it's actually smart because at the same time, he's making it seem like it's coming from a position of caring for them.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. But he doesn't feel the need to do it in the opposite direction. Okay. Because he's not worried about he's not worried about people just randomly targeting Syrians or Yemenis or Sudanese Okay, just because they're angry about what's happening overseas.
Yeah,
he's not worried about.
What about Muslims? You know, here's like, hey, Muslims, stop being Muslim because your prophet, I don't know, raped a child.
Yeah.
And all of this garbage things in Islam, you know, it's going to bring people might, you know, again, I'm not going to say it because I don't want to do what he's doing. But imagine if he said that about Muslims being Muslims and basically saying, you know, leave Islam or suffer the consequences. Imagine if he said that.
Yeah, so that's exactly what I'm talking about. So that the apologia and the rationalization for violence against Jews is being presented in a principled way, but that principle is not being applied any fucking where else, nowhere else. This principle that he's talking about, he's saying the Jewish ISIS. Well, what about the Islamic ISIS? What about the Islamic ISIS, bro? This is not being applied anywhere else. This is the game that they play. You know, you come up with a principle, you say, oh, look what the Jews are doing. Look what Israel's doing. Genocide. Okay. It's genocide. And like, well, like you must condemn Israel or else you're going to get hurt. I'm doing this for your own benefit. But meanwhile, there's genocides all over the fucking place and nobody gets hurt and nobody thinks they're going to get hurt. Nobody thinks that there's going to be some random attack on some random group, despite death tolls, like astronomical death tolls.
Yeah.
Even if we just look at what I'm comparing is 21st century conflicts to the entire history of the state of Israel, and even then we're talking about massive differences. Okay, and if we go beyond the 21st century, the Iran-Iraq war itself, what is it like? 1.5 million, maybe 2 million dead.
Yeah, around 1 million.
Yeah. So we're talking about multiples of all of Israel's wars put together, including Gaza and Lebanon and Iran.
Yeah.
Okay. So the problem here is that if it's true about American Jews, right, that they are risking violence because of their attachment to Israel, it ought to be true about many other types of Americans, but it's not. Yeah. It's not. It's only the Jews, and it's only the Jews. Yeah. And you look at it. Okay, so the reason why you could justify that is it has to be because what the Jews are doing is some unique evil. Okay, it's much worse than any other conflict. If that was true, then maybe that would make sense. But it's so obviously not true. It's so objectively not worse than other conflicts. And that alone is example of rank hypocrisy.
Exactly. And Agent Anderson, thank you so much for the super chat, saying basically summarizing what he just said. Haters, basically saying, stop making me hate you.
Yeah.
So Agent Anderson's understanding of what's happening.
Thank you, Agent Anderson. Yes, exactly.
Okay. Listen to this. This is a bunch of DSA people having an online meeting / live stream. Let's see what they say here.
We have seen that the Democratic Party establishment that we have has to be ripped out. We can actually start to grab hold of the ship of state and steer it in our direction, but it's going to be a violent process.
Our country needs to
a violent process. So guys, these are DSA activists and streamers, DSA, the Democratic Socialists of America, talking about mainstream Democratic Party. Like, so they want to
state and steer it in our direction, but it's going to be a violent process.
Our country needs to change, and this Democratic Party needs to change. I was more than glad to go on Hassan's stream. This is we need as Democrats, we need to go into these spaces.
Israel has a plan of creating a greater Israel in the Middle East.
And Eretz Israel would require Israel to expand, quintuple its size by eating up half of Lebanon, parts of Iraq, parts of Egypt.
This is so ridiculous because Israel has given up more land for the sake of peace than any other country in history. More relative to its size, Israel has given up the Sinai Peninsula and Gaza for the sake of making peace agreements with the countries around them and the rest of the world. Nobody has given up more land more than Israel. This is the most ridiculous accusation against Israel.
by eating quintuple.
Yeah, go on.
No, you want to play? That's okay. I can wait.
No, go ahead. If you want to add something to this, and I'll play it.
Yeah, no, I just want to say, like, okay, so this is something we can all pay attention to. We can all observe how often this is happening over and over again. Okay, they criticize Israel. They claim to apply principles. All right, this is the reason why we oppose Israel. Right, they're talking about the greater Israel, Eretz Israel, or whatever. Like that, Israel is an expansionist power. Okay, so I would assume from this that you have a problem with expansionist powers. I would assume from this that is the issue. You have a principled opposition to expansionist powers. Is that the case? If so, you should have a long fucking list. You should have a long fucking list of expansionist powers that you object to and you want to agitate against. If it's only Israel, that is a tell. That is a tell right there. If it is only Israel.
What this as an Iranian, what I see when I see this, and I know a lot of people don't see it, okay, but I see it, because to me this is the Palestinian invasion, right? And I know I've explained this many times, and people don't understand what I'm talking about. People think the Palestinian cause is about something in Gaza. It's not about Gaza. The Palestinian cause is a virus that wants to take over different countries one by one by using the sympathy for the people in Gaza as a way to infiltrate, using Jew hatred and fake sympathy for the people in Gaza as a way to infiltrate in your country's politics, only because Islam is not as appealing as Jew hatred and fake sympathy for the people in Gaza. That's how they infiltrate into your politics. And the reason why I say that is because my country was taken from us this way. The Islamic Republic is a Palestinian occupation of Iran. And I say that to people, and people don't understand what I'm talking about. Like, what does that got to do? The Islamic Republic is a Palestinian occupation of Iran. It came there with the Palestinian cause, by the Palestinian movement, which is a virus of leftist and Arab supremacists and Islamic, I don't want to call them Islamists, but basically Muslims, jihadis, let's say, right?
Yeah.
And it's happening. And this, what I'm seeing right now is, like, what has this got to do with Americans? What has this got to do with you filling your potholes or making things more affordable? These people talking about Israel is because that's how they get in. This is that same virus that took my country. I see it in the same way that it came to my country, is now coming into your country. And the fact that these people are winning elections and primaries shows that it's working. And it's interesting that we already lost our country, and the world should have learned from how dangerous this sickness is. This sickness is worse than Islam itself by itself, because it's more appealing, and it's taken the most viral parts of leftism and the most viral parts of Islam, and has created a disease that is more dangerous than each one of them separately, right? That's what the Palestinian cause is. It's a combination of the best, the most destructive elements of leftism and the most destructive elements of Islam, and it's created a new monster, and it's called the Palestinian cause. And together, like, leftism by itself will not be able to bring down the framework of nation states, and neither would Islam by themselves. But the Palestinian cause is the merger of the most destructive parts of both of them, and to make a disease that is much more easier to spread. And this is what's coming to your country, and it's very dangerous. And once it gets a few percentage points, it will Once it gets its foot in, then it will be so hard to get rid of, and it will spread like wildfire, and it will burn everything in its path.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, it's a fascinating insight, Armin, because it's probably doing the most to sort of the Palestinian cause. I mean, is probably doing the most to sort of sanitize the worst aspects of Islam for the left, right? So that there are a lot of things that the left just would object to with regards to Islam, but by shifting the focus away from that, right, shifting it on this fake national identity, and positioning it as a sort of perpetual oppression, they get the leftists to do the work for them, right? Like, look at what's happening right now. The DSA, they're talking amongst each other, like, how can we enable? They don't even know that they're doing it, but what they're doing is they're saying, how can we enable the forces of Islam, or of political Islam, to spread? That's what they're doing. This is the evidence that it's viral. Because it is in many respects, it's contrary to their own principles.
Right.
But they put all that aside. All of that just gets thrown out the window, because in their minds, they think, oh, you know what? We have to liberate Palestine first. We have to liberate Palestine first, and everything else can wait. Right?
Yeah.
Everything else can wait. You know, the trans-liberation, the climate emergency, you know, all of that can wait.
Let me play the rest of this video.
Its size by eating up half of Lebanon, parts of Iraq, parts of Egypt, most of Jordan, parts of Iran.
It's not an accident that the same people that will take the AIPAC money take all the other money too. You know, where they're messaging each other like, oh, there's a war over here. Won't that be profitable for us? What if we started some instability over there?
AIPAC doesn't care about democracy. AIPAC cares about what AIPAC cares about, which is the corporate interests, the billionaire class, and perpetuating this U.S. colony in the Middle East that is only able to exist with our taxpayer support.
Oh my God.
Yeah. So, I mean, look, you know, in the middle of the 20th century, an impoverished group of refugees, who had endured one of the worst incidents ever of industrial scale murder, had to fight several British trained armies, okay, without any U.S. support. Zero U.S. support. And they still managed to do it. They still managed to survive. So that is a lie. That is a complete lie. And I would turn it around and ask them, okay, I would ask them this. Let's say the U.S. didn't support Israel at all. Okay, let's say the U.S. didn't support Israel at all. Would you be okay? Would you be okay if the death toll, okay, in the non-U.S. involved Arab-Israeli conflict was something like Syria or Sudan? Would you be just as agitated about that as you are about Syria and Sudan?
That's a good point.
And the answer is no. The answer is no, because Israel has, or let's say the Palestinian cause has so warped them that no other issue matters.
Yeah.
Oh, another several million people can die in Congo over the next decade, and they will still talk about Israel.
Exactly. It's hypocritical. Let me quickly just go over some comments and then the last video that we have because we're running almost out of time. Fit over 50 Fitness, thank you so much for the jewels. WWM Production saying, would their ideology qualify as a type of expansionist power in some way? Oh, absolutely, the most expansionist power because their ambitions are global.
Yes,
there is no more expansionist ideology out there.
Yeah, and this is by the way, this is another comparison. Okay, so you can take like the most revisionist extremist.
30 seconds because 30 seconds.
Okay, you can take the most revisionist extremist Zionist. Okay, and these are people that I don't particularly care for, and I don't think that they're a good influence on Israeli politics. But anyway, you can take them and you can satisfy them with Greater Israel. You cannot satisfy the Palestinian cause with all of Israel. You cannot. They need to dominate the world. Okay, so even the worst Israelis, okay, are nowhere near as bad. Okay, are nowhere near as bad as the modal Palestinian cause member.
That's a very interesting point, Sid. I'm glad you made it. Sticking Beans, thank you so much for the super chat saying, yes, Armin, you call it the Muslim Brotherhood around our neck of the woods, and the Islamic Republic is a rival on who's more pious, who's more extreme on Israel. Yes, and by the way, the Islamic Republic is an offshoot of Muslim Brotherhood. It's the Shia version of Muslim Brotherhood. The Islamic Republic started not with Khomeini, it started with Nawab Safavi, which started the Shia version of Muslim Brotherhood after he met with oh my God, what's his name? Sayyid Qutb in Egypt.
Qutb, right.
And yes.
and Khamenei, Ali Khamenei was a translator of Qutb, right? So
yes.
yeah, so it's basically like he's delivering Muslim Brotherhood ideology to the 12er Shia, right? To 12er Shia Iran. That's exactly what they did. So yes, different theology, but very, very similar political ideology.
Yeah, I mean, it's still within the Islamic Republic. There's still stamps that have Sayyid Qutb on it.
Oh wow!
And
Yeah,
there and they go. Also so they're pretty much And thank you so much, Stick and Beans. And then Stick and Beans, thank you so much for the super chat saying, and the only reason they call it Palestinian is because Islam name of this land is Israel. Yeah, I mean,
Palestine not mentioned in the Quran, not mentioned in the text at all. Palestine.
Yeah, because it didn't exist, because it didn't make Israel. But Israel is mentioned many times in the Quran, many times. Yeah. So I don't think we're going to have time for this video. Well, I'll save it for next time because I think it's important. Guys, first of all, thank you for everybody who has liked the stream.
Yes.
If you haven't, please do. It has a huge impact on our reach, so please go ahead and do that. Secondly, Guy was here earlier today, so please show him some love. Go subscribe to his channel. The link is in the description. Thirdly, we are going to go to our group discussion in about 1 hour. So consider joining our group discussion. We have group calls there every single day. And the link to it is in the description and also in the QR code in the top left corner of the screen. If you do not join our group call today, you could watch it on Liberty Politics YouTube channel, which because we're going to live stream our discussion there on Liberty Politics. So make sure you're subscribed to Liberty Politics YouTube channel and hit the bell notification so you don't miss watching our discussion over there. And that's us. And Sid, do you want to say anything before we go?
Yeah. Thanks to the chatters. Thanks for your contribution. Thanks for the super chats and Jules. Thanks to our mods, and look forward to talking to you in our school group.
Yes, we'll see you guys there. And until then, I'm Israel Chai, Slava Ukrainia, Cuba Libre, Taiwan Jiayo, Long Live America, Javid Shah, Payende, Iran. See you guys.